Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Otts here, and I'm coming in 15 minutes early at 9:15 because we got double duty tonight. We had a fantastic win over the Milwaukee Bucks here in Toronto last night, and they've got on the road immediately after the game to go on a long road trip, a week-long road trip, and going to Philadelphia to play them today. How inconvenient is this for us? Got to go play Philadelphia today, right after we played Milwaukee last night, and Philly has not played since Sunday. Oh my gosh. So let's take care of the preview stuff for tonight right off the bat, and let's get it out of the way. And then we'll do our reaction and also more previewing and talking about the game tonight against the Sixers, Coach Nick Nurse, and them in Wells Fargo tonight. So let's start off with the latest lineup news. It's really not totally clear what's happening with our guys tonight as far as Achua, because Achua, basically, this is what I found out yesterday with Achua. Achua was slated to play last night. He had gone through all of the final things, and then right before the game, they decided to hold him out last night. In some ways, I feel like it's partly because of today, and that it may very well be that we get Precious back tonight. But I can't tell you for sure. I really, really can't. But it seems like Precious is like 50-50 as far as things with me. As far as I can tell, he's 50-50 whether he'll play or not. He could have played yesterday, possibly, is what I'm hearing. But they held him out. And it may be because of the back-to-back situation. They want to have him for tonight. Koloko is obviously a scratch and still not ready to come back. On the Philadelphia side, they just did that big trade. So in some ways, Philadelphia is a different team than what we saw on Saturday, which is really crazy. James Harden getting traded to the Clippers, and they've got some new players coming in. One of those new players is not available for the game today, and that is Nicolas Batum of France's national team. Batum was very upset about getting traded to the Sixers from the Clippers, guys. And, he's a weird guy. He's been very surly lately. So Batum, but apparently the other guys that got traded in the deal, Kenyon Martin Jr., Robert Covington, and Marcus Morris Sr. will be available for their team. Now with PJ Tucker and James Harden going to the Clippers, their starting lineup has changed since PJ's not available anymore. Kelly Oubre is no longer their sixth man, and he has jumped into the starting lineup with PJ Tucker leaving. So it's Maxey, Melton, Oubre, Harris, and Embiid as their starters. And that's interesting to me because in some ways, look, I look at everything and think about everything. And PJ Tucker is a little doorstop. Some people call him the shortest center in the league. And that man is tough for power forward kind of defense and even center defense. Well, now he's gone. They're going to play Harris and Oubre at the forward. That may be folly, Nick Nurse, because listen, we know what our team looks like and how big they are and how long we are. In some ways, this is going to show something. Unless he starts playing Marcus Morris more today or something like that, I don't know. But also, these will be the debuts for these new Sixers from the Clippers. And it's interesting they got KJ Martin because that's a Rico guy. That's a guy who's been out at the Rico Hines runs the last couple of years, just tearing it up. And very much one of Rico's favorites. And him being on the Sixers with them makes a lot of sense that they would covet him coming there. That trade for Harden is very interesting, the fallout, but for both sides. In some ways, this trade is weird. It had to happen, and it serves James Harden the best. But in some ways, it's really weird how the Sixers didn't end up getting anybody like huge in the deal. They really, really didn't. There's no big name. And the Clippers have so many big names over there. It's a really weird deal in some ways. Very, very strange deal. But it serves the purpose of getting him the hell out of there, giving him what he wanted. And we'll see if it works in Clipper land with these Beatles. These are weird. There's 4 really strong players there now. Russell and James reunited, and with Kawhi and Paul George, it's really weird. It's a really weird team, the Clippers, and apparently they're going to just extend the hell out of these guys because Steve Ballmer is so rich. He can just pay over the luxury tax and just pay the hell out of them like crazy. So I think that's their plan. They're not going to be young. They sacrifice their future once again, getting somebody like Paul George, getting somebody like James Harden, and now they really doubling down on these dudes and counting on they show up for games and play. So it's very interesting. Now, on the other side, Philly got more like workable players, but maybe downgraded the quality of guys of a bit without being so consolidated in James Harden, of course. So, yeah, there's your latest lineup news. They're smaller now. The Sixers are smaller to a degree because PJ Tucker went out west. Yeah, yeah. All right, let's do our ref report. Let's get this out of the way right away. Listen, we've gotten 3 really good ref crews in a row. Seriously, even though we lost that game on Monday, that was a good ref crew for us, guys. We had a good ref crew. We just didn't take the advantage of like having a good settings. Well, we had a good ref crew last night too, and I feel like we've got a similar crew tonight also, guys. Our crew chief tonight is the family guy, Mark Lindsay. Mark Lindsay's coming in. Now, the big red flag here is he's a Philadelphia guy. He's from Pennsylvania. And he's going to be reffing in Wells Fargo tonight as the crew chief. But the weird thing is he statistically does not favor the Philadelphia 76ers. Mark Lindsay is from Drexel Hill. He went to Westchester University. Very, very Pennsylvania guy. His favorite show is Family Guy. He likes Dave Matthews Band. We won't hold that against him. His favorite app is Apple Podcasts. He's most like to visit Rome, and he wants a family trip to Italy. That's, of course, because he's a family guy. And his hidden talent is spelling, y'all. This man knows how to spell, y'all. Can you spell NBA? Tell me if you can spell NBA. Mark Lindsay directs the proactive referee officiating camp, which raises money to benefit underprivileged youth who attend the Treasure Beach basketball camp in rural Jamaica. Lindsay, who is married with 3 children, enjoys reading, working out, bicycling, and yoga. That's right. Lucky he's a family guy. Lucky he's a family. F and cry. He is statistically our worst ref today, but he is favoring us heavy. We win 58% of our games when Mark Lindsay's around historically. And the Sixers win 45% of their games. So he actually is a losing ref for the Sixers franchise. So Mark Lindsay, advantage 58-45 Raptors. I'll take it, even though he is a homer. It seems like he's from that area. That may be dangerous, but we'll see. Maybe he overcompensates to show that he is not a homer for his home team. So maybe he will not be favorable to them. Also, the factor of Nick Nurse and which coach they like better, that has to matter too. All right, the second ref is JT Orr. He's a good ref for us. We like JT Orr. He's like JB DeRosa, who we had last game. JT's in his 14th season out of Pomona, California. He's a California guy. His favorite TV show is Come on, Knock on My Door. Take a step that is new. Whether this is our hers and his, he's company too. Yeah, this is an old head, man. I think you're older than you. He hasn't reffed that long, so he came to reffing late in life. If he likes Three's Company, his favorite movie is Fletch. Now, that's a good movie. This guy's got good taste, JT Orr. I like this guy. His favorite musician is Pearl Jam. Jeremy Spoken. His favorite book is The Outsiders. And he don't mean Nash and Hall. Favorite meal, biscuits and gravy. I can always respect a man that gets down with some biscuits and gravy in the morning for breakfast. That's right. His favorite app is Maps. He would like to visit the Glacier National Park. He wants to start a dog rescue. That's his bucket list. Just start, bro. Start a dog rescue. You see a dog out in the street, take him and rescue him. You just do it. His hidden talent is impressionist painting. This man does impressionist paintings? Wow. I like JT Orr a lot, y'all. And he is a favorite ref for us. He previously spent more than 10 years as a counselor for young men in the foster care and probation systems of Los Angeles County. This is a guy who gives back, and he's got a good heart. JT Orr is our best ref today. We win 2 out of 3 of our games whenever he is present, 67%. And the Sixers only win half their games, 50%. So 67% Raptors, 50% for the Sixers. JT Orr favors us. That's right. So we got 2 refs that are going to favor us so far, it seems like, statistically. The third ref is Nick Nurse's favorite ref, Evan Scott. That's right. We know that Nick Nurse has bullied Evan Scott in the past. as the coach of the Toronto Raptors. And I want to see if he tries to bully Evan Scott tonight, because we know he will. He'll try and do this. Evan is from South Korea. He is in his 6th season as a referee at this point. His favorite TV show is Sports Center. He likes the DiCaprio movie Inception. His favorite musician is Prince, baby. And that's how we know he's in cahoots with Nick Nurse and their little purple guy love of Little Red Corvette. Baby, you're driving too fast. Got to slow down, girl. Yeah, that's right. And his favorite book is Stalling for Time. This man wants some steak and asparagus so his pee will smell. And favorite app is FaceTime, and he most like to visit the Amalfi Coast. Born in South Korea, Evan Scott came to the United States when he was 4 months old. He played 2 seasons of rugby at Radford University in Virginia. Scott was a 3-sport athlete in high school, competing in baseball, basketball, and swimming. So yeah, Evan Scott, like I said, he's been bullied by Nick. I've seen him do this in games. So this is a factor. We know Nick can bully Evan Scott. All right, so we win 64% of our games when Evan Scott is available. Meanwhile, the Sixers win 73% of their games. So Evan Scott is definitely going to be more coercive by Nick Nurse in some ways. We've seen a history of it. The statistics show that he favors the Sixers. So it's 64-73 for the Sixers with the third ref, Evan Scott. So there's your ref crew. The 2 senior refs statistically favor the Raptors, but Evan Scott favors the Sixers. So Mark Lindsay, JT Orr, Evan Scott. That's our crew tonight. Yeah. It's a crew very similar to the last crew and very similar to the crew before that. Now, last night was fun, wasn't it? You guys, we got up with a winning feeling yesterday, and boy, was it the right feeling. It was the right vibes, and it really came through on the court. And did you guys see, I can't believe how much I was tooting the horn of Dennis Schröder and Jakob Poeltl in the morning, and how much they came through to really show the good stuff. To really, I love what Jack was saying during the game last night about Dennis. He's exactly damn right. And I told y'all this. Dennis is at a place in his career where he's coming up and growing into a new level. He may have been a journeyman backup point guard for most of his career, but he did something this summer that's monumental and confidence building. And Jack Armstrong pointed this out in the broadcast last y'all. Y'all need to listen to him, Oren Weisfeld. Jack Armstrong knows basketball, and this man is a great replacement for Fred VanVleet. In fact, he's doing Fred things and even better than Fred in some ways. We saw him do a masterful job of balancing being the point guard and setting up other players with a lot of assists. He did a lot of it early, and that's smart. That's one of the things that always pissed me off about Fred. He didn't get his teammates involved early, because that's one of the point guard's job. You get them involved early, and then later on, you fill in some of the dots yourself. And that's exactly what Dennis did. In fact, Dennis had some FIBA play going on last night. Did y'all see that out there? He got the FIBA game in the NBA game last night with him and Jakob Poeltl, and it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. Now, everybody who doesn't think Dennis should be starting, did you watch the game last night, and how do you feel about it now? Is what I will say right now. And then, of course, Jakob, so underratedly good. If I was going to tell you who my 5 stars of the game were last night, I could not tell you any single one of them were the number 1 star. They are all number 1 stars in my book, the starting 5 last night, because all 5 of the starters last night were absolutely incredible. They were incredible. Oh my gosh, all 5 of them. Scottie for what he does. Pascal showed up and was Pascal again. And we saw Pascal getting the room to move and do some of his little moves to free himself. And he was successful hitting his shot. And then OG, perfect from the field, 7 of 7. And then we know that OG Plumbing Company came in with a big old clamp and cut that water off in Greece last night. Oh, yeah, he did. He cut off the whole water supply for the country of Greece last night. That's right. That's the master plumber that he is. He went in there and cut it all off. I mean, did you understand this, NBA? Don't talk about Adrian Griffin's system. Don't talk about Dame Lillard trying to fit in. Talk about how the Raptors defense is so good that they shut down 2 of the top stars on the same team on one night last night when they played the Milwaukee Bucks. And they saw the output from Antetokounmpo and Lillard. That's right. That's right. Give that due where it's diligently due. That the Raptors offense showed, and that is the mark. That's right. There are victims aplenty when they play the Raptors and they get shut down by OG Master Plumber. That is right. That is right. There you go. All right, let me get in these comments with you guys real quick. And it looks like we got Philadelphia fan here with us on game day. I love it, Random Gamer. I love you're here, man. All right, let's see. All right, we'll start with Nameless. Nameless is interesting today. Let's see what he's saying here. These refs are disgusting, and the league should be investigated. Is your money a joke? Well, that's what they think. When Arnold Rothstein fixed the World Series in 1919, it was a federal crime. What Adam Silver and the officials are doing is too. In my mind, it's the same thing, and the FBI needs to investigate because this is BS. I don't know. What do you want us to do? You think because it's fixed, because of the refs? I don't know. The refs, you feel like it's because of the free throws last night? Is that what you're upset about? Look, they could try and help them all they want, but that's what I'm saying, y'all. If we are so freaking good, it doesn't matter. We will win anyway. It doesn't matter if those refs don't help us. It doesn't matter if they hurt us. If we are so good, it won't matter. Nameless, I understand what you're saying. In some ways, I don't like calling the cops when there's trouble because sometimes the cops bring more trouble with them. I don't know, Nameless. If you want to start a campaign to get an investigation, a Senate hearing on Adam Silver and the referees and the way they run that league, start writing your congressman. Do you live in Canada, though? So how can we do this? I don't know. We need people on the state side to get upset in the same way. I don't know how to deal with this, Nameless. All I know is play harder, play better, and make a difference, and it won't matter. That's what I say, and that's what Leo and Jack are saying, too. Trevor, good morning. Raptors family, happy game day. Happy game day to Trevor J. The in-season tournament has begun. It is November. And we will be playing for this month, y'all. That's right. Who's going to get the in-season tournament, the Trevor J Cup, and their team winning the in-season tournament? We'll have to see. Let's see. Trevor's saying, what a beatdown last night. Gradey taking the charge. Coach Darko said that he's got guts. He wanted to say he has balls, is what he was going to say, but he did a real quick switch and said guts. A lot of people impressed with Gradey on that note with that. Yeah, Pascal noting it too. Yeah, that rookie is real gutsy going in there. Yeah, Gradey was awesome. Once again, fitting in really well and really nice and not looking out of place. But you want to know who I was really impressed with last night? Of course, Scottie. The way he went right at Giannis, that one play is a sign. It's a sign that I'm coming, NBA, and this guy's a golden boy. This is an anointed NBA superstar. Well, let me show you what I can do to him and underneath the basket and make him look like a common NBA player, not a top defensive player. He can't stop me. I'll make him look like a little baby right next to the hoop. We see Scottie growing into his powers. Do you understand what I was trying to tell y'all 2 years ago? That Scottie is going to be a dominant superstar, number one player on our team, and he just needed time to figure out how powerful he is. And, well, he kind of knows how powerful he is at this point. And it's going to be so fun, guys. We love our Scottie Barnes, and he is going to be more and more a badass as we go forward. I love it so much. Oh, my gosh, I do. Trevor J saying, life has its challenges. One day you're up, the next day you're down. No kidding. No kidding, Trevor. But never give up. Be strong. Only you can make the outcome better for you. You know, it's crazy. You can sit in something on Monday night with Portland, and you can really feel like, yeah, what the fuck is this year going to be like? And then you can come around and see a game like this last night, and you'd be like, all right, let's do these games all season. And we'll just go in with a competitive chance. That's the thing, y'all. We need to be ready for both sides of the coin. We're going to get games like last night where we have no business beating teams because we are just doing it. It's partly because our defense is crazy good. It really is. The fact that we did what we did to Milwaukee was impressive. They really had a hard time scoring in any kind of way. And that was connected together defense being smothering. I mean, the fact, like Darko said after the game, what OG did to Giannis last night was incredible. That's not easy to do. And the fact that we have very good regular success dealing with Giannis whenever we play Milwaukee. Yeah, Jack's right. It's a matchup thing. In some ways, we've got their number. In some ways, Bucks fans very much respect the Raptors franchise because they know we whoop them a lot in the playoffs, in regular season games. Yeah, a lot of times we're beating Milwaukee, and I love that. And even if they had those two guys. Now, I'm a little bit worried for Coach Griff. Now, there's a couple things that happened last night that I didn't totally like. They did the welcome back to Coach Griff, and the crowd was quiet. They didn't even acknowledge that man coming back. Just because he's not Nick Nurse and most of you casuals don't know who he was, this man was a part of our franchise and part of our championship team. So give him his damn due respect and clap and get a little bit loud for him. It looked like he was sad because he didn't get any kind of reaction in some ways when they did his tribute video, y'all. That's depressing. I could tell he's pissed and he wanted to beat us for it. Well, it didn't happen. His team looked like a mess. And I'm a little worried. There's some murmurs about Griffin possibly being like a Bjorngren from the coaching tree of Nick. And that in some ways, people are already criticizing him for trying to set up a Nick Nurse type system with a team that just doesn't have Nick Nurse qualities and trying to fit it in where it might not work. So, yeah, it's a rocky start for Coach Griff already. And, you know, this kind of a 500 beginning, 2-2 to start the season, and losing to the Raptors, that's trouble in paradise for them because already people are saying, is he the right coach? And they're already murmuring about Griffin and his job. Yikes. I hate seeing that for somebody I really like Coach Adrian Griffin. And he deserves more respect. It was cool to see our players go and say hi to him after the game. Scottie definitely said something to him, unlike Nick Nurse the other night. Gerald's here. Nako the Nacho. Good to see you, Nako. Scottie's out there looking like he's about to steal Giannis's lunch money. He did. He stole his lunch money. In some ways, Giannis didn't give a shit about losing so bad. It was weird. It was really weird. And Dame Lillard's such a punk, man. They're calling him lame Lillard, and I kind of agree. In some ways, that dude, you know, his anti-Canadianism of not wanting to come here. In some ways, you know what? You just saw a team you could have been playing next to Dame Lillard. How do you feel about not taking that job? You could have been Dennis Schröder last night. You jabroni. You know what? I'd rather have Dennis Schröder over you right now. I know. I said it. That's right, Raptors fans. I said I'd rather have Dennis Schröder right now than Dame Lillard. I know I said that. In some ways, ask Portland fan why I said that. And maybe they'll tell you why. He's right. And what we're doing with our FIBA and our MVP from the FIBA World Cup is badass. Another thing I just realized the other day is, listen, y'all love to chant MVP at the games. You can chant MVP this year. Chant it when Dennis gets the line. He is a legitimate MVP. And y'all can do it. You have the license, Raptors fans. Shower him with the MVP chant when he's shooting. Everybody will know you mean FIBA, and it's a legitimate chant. Y'all always wanted to chant MVP for Pascal way too early. Well, you can literally chant MVP when Dennis is shooting his free throws all season long because he's the reigning FIBA World Cup MVP. And that's not, bring it. Let's do it, Raptors fans. Let's shower the Dennis Schröder with MVP chants when he plays for the Raptors in our home building. Let's do it. Yeah, that's what I'm all about. That's right. Trevor J saying OG shut down Milwaukee's top two players. He's an awesome defensive player. I wish he did both of them. But it was a whole round effort. In fact, OG got the Giannis assignment, and Dennis got the Dame Lillard assignment. And there you go. Another thing where we're like, holy crap, Dennis did it all last night. He did it all. Let's go look at his stats real quick because he did do it all last night. I'm telling you right now, Dennis was 9 of 13. That's a beautiful shooting percentage. 2 of 4 from 3. Big key threes late. And when he got him, he was open. He hit him. He did really look like he was playing as good as he was playing at World Cup for Germany. He looked like the same Dennis. He looked like FIBA Dennis. He was out there. He got 11 assists, a double-double, 24 points, 4 rebounds, a steal, and only 2 turnovers. 11-2 assist-to-turnover ratio, a plus 21. But not only that, we got to give him credit for being a big part of the irritation of Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard, let's look at the other side then, because Dennis got his assignment. Dame Lillard was 4 for 9. He only took 9 shots, and it's the fewest shots he's taken in a game since 2018. You don't tell me we weren't shadowing him real nice. He only got 1 3-pointer, which was badass. And when that 1 3-pointer went through, I was like, oh shit, don't heat up now. And of course, we were all a little worried that like we'd crumble and lose this game somehow, some way. But no, they weren't going to let this happen. In some ways, the Bucks were really bad last night. In some ways, you could say this was one of those nights out of the whole 82 where nothing goes in and you're just destined to lose. In some ways, you could say that's kind of what happened to the Bucks last night. We just happened to be lucky to be playing them on a night like this. I could get behind that. But a lot of the things we did last night were absolutely fantastic. So who cares? Who cares if some of that was the Bucks playing really off? I don't care. We needed that win, and we looked real good doing it. Yeah, OG. Let me look at his stat line real quick because he's interesting on this. He's interesting. OG was perfect from the field. How often do you see a Raptor shoot 7 for 7? Absolutely efficient. Some people are saying we need to get him more involved. Fuck that. Let the man do the defense, and he'll take what he gets in the flow of the game. Lots of transition dunks for OG last night. No wonder he was 7 for 7. Most of his shots were dunks. He had one three-pointer. It was early in the game where Siakam, OG, and Scottie each hit a 3 each, and it really set the tone for the game. When these guys come out and hit three-pointers right away because they're not respecting their range, I love it. And our three-point shooting was fantastic last night, 39.5%, 15 of 38, and it's really the starters. The bench didn't shoot good threes, but the starters were fantastic. Siakam and Barnes together were 9 of 14. You add in OG there, they were 10 of 15. So what is not to like about a 10 for 15 between those guys? Then you add Dennis in there, and they're 12 of 19. 12 of 19 three-point shooting from the starting lineup of the Raptors last night. That's like dream shooting. And some people are saying this. If Scottie and Pascal can hit their threes, which I told y'all they've been working on like crazy, and don't be surprised if this starts happening, this will change things for the Raptors, their offense, and our chances to win on the regular. They just needed to make them respect that they can make some threes. And it looks like they're on that way. Scottie's shot is so dialed in and much better fundamentally, isn't it, this year? You see how confident he is. He steps into the threes and he takes them, and they look real nice with the way they go through. Siakam, you just got to make them too. And these guys, he said yet last night, Siakam said, I take thousands and thousands of three-pointers all summer. Yeah, I told y'all. That's what these guys are doing. They're getting their three-point shot better because they know that's the next thing that will make them the most deadly. And that's what the NBA should be worried about. Amazing three-point shooting by our guys last night. Amazing. Of course, like I said, OG had to guard Giannis and Antetokounmpo. And in some ways, that's a very, very difficult assignment for most people in the league, but not for OG. Giannis was 5 of 11. He only had 16 points. It really contained really well. Really, really contained really well. So I love it. OG, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, a plus 16 with 16 points. A really underrated. And I love his hair out poofy. It looks real good when it's out poofy. He looks strong. He looked badass, played within the game, and I loved all the dunks. The dunks were fantastic. All right, let's keep going. MSJ is saying the refs, my God, but this is why you have to be a fan through whatever comes. I, for one, didn't see it coming, but glad I saw it for sure. Yeah. Well, this is where the casual fans, the ones who just write us off after a really bad game on Monday night, they don't get to see the treat of the win. In some ways, this is a kind of a thing that happens every year where like the casual fans stop watching and then there's a really good game and they're like, damn, I wish I had watched. That's why you ride or die with them, you idiots. That's why you don't leave before the game's over, because there's always comebacks. There's always surprises. There's always good things that can happen to your team. And sometimes people just don't have the patience or they don't want to wait around for losing. Well, don't stick around because you won't see the winning then either. And that was awesome last night. I did not expect that game to go that well or that amazing. And we really needed it. We really needed it as a fan nation for sure. I'm not mad at the refs. If y'all are pointing at the free throw discrepancy, don't worry about that. In some ways, they're going to get those superstar calls because it's Giannis and Dame Lillard. But it didn't matter. Those calls were charity for sure. We didn't need those calls. Let me look at the team stats with y'all real quick because they kind of tell you why we didn't need those free throws. And even if they did overburden them with a lot of free throws, it didn't really freaking matter, honestly. We got 91 shots to 76 shots by them. Listen to this. This is an amazing stat right here. They made 35 field goals. We made 51 field goals. You can't beat a team when you're making so much fewer field goals. And the key to that is our defense. Our defense did not allow them easy open shots in any kind of way. They were really hesitant to shoot, and they just didn't try and get their offense going. They couldn't because we suffocated them so badly. They couldn't make many shots because they couldn't get enough shots off. A lot of times they ran out the shot clock because we were playing them so well. I love our defense right now. It really is, in some ways, a step above our defense the last couple years under Nick. Even with all that crazy trapping and hurrying around, our defense is better this year, and the stats prove it. And also things like Milwaukee Bucks, who have two guys who shoot a lot, were shooting way, way less than our team, is a real indicator of that. So that was badass. And then the three-point shooting, obviously, we killed them. Although they had a similar percentage by the end of the game, 38% from the field and three, and 39.5% for us. So we really shot 40%, but the 15 threes were huge, and we really were badasses about it. The free throw line, we shot way better. We only missed one free throw. They did get double our free throws plus 9. Double our free throws plus 9. I know y'all are upset about that, but realize it doesn't matter. Who cares? In some ways, that may hurt us in some games, but in some ways, if we play so badass like we did, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Y'all can be upset about the free throw discrepancy, but don't. Seriously, there's no reason to. In some ways, it is indicative of just them missing a lot. Another thing indicative of them missing a lot is our rebounds. We destroyed them on the rebounds. 50-29. And I love this because Milwaukee's a big team. They got Brook Lopez. They got Bobby Portis. They got Giannis. And this was something they talked about after the game on Monday, that they really fucked up with the defensive rebounds and letting the Trailblazers get too many offensive rebounds. Well, they adjusted and they made a rededication to making sure they secure the defensive rebounds and the possession and get out running. And look, this is the outcome we get. They destroyed them on the rebounds, 50-29, and they limited the Bucks to 7 offensive rebounds. So that's a huge correction and a good positive change from the Monday game. And if we'd done this better on Monday, we might have won against the Trailblazers. So 35 assists, absolutely insanely good. Darko said this is where he wants it to be. Last year, I was just crying out to Nick to get to 25 assists a game, and we would never get to it. And this year, Darko's like, I don't care about 25. I want to get 35 assists a game. Well, he got his number last night, and the way the ball was moving all around was FIBA style. It was awesome. You saw Dennis do this crazy pass over his shoulder to Jakob, trailing behind him. Is a blind pass. He don't have eyes in the back of his head. Threw it over his shoulder, and it was so beautiful. And then Jakob threw it down. I love that kind of shit. I love it so much. It looks so cool what Dennis did, because sometimes Dennis's passes, they're misdirections. They're between the legs. They're really shocking, and sometimes you just don't see them happening. He's very flashy, but really good. The hustle stats weren't bad. We had 13 to their 11. They really got a lot of steals and turnovers on us. We were turning the ball over quite a bit, but once again, if you get all the other stats good, it doesn't matter, things like that. Fast break points were back in full effect. 26 fast break points for the Raptors, only 5 for the Bucks. And the points in the paint, domination. 66-40, a plus 26 in the points in the paint for the Raptors. These are the keys that win you the game. So what if there was 25 fouls called on us and 17 called on them? Who cares? It doesn't matter. I don't care if the referees give them tons and tons of free throws. We just need to win. That's all I care about. So I'm not mad at the refs. I'm really not. David's saying we're starting early now. Shit. I start early on game days, David. I like to get the spot early. It's my philosophy. When we have a game, we're playing Philadelphia tonight. I'm not messing around. I'll come in early and start the stream early in the hopes that the players are at the spot early first tonight also. Yeah. Tom Duke is saying so many positives, and it's nice to see the team establishing its identity as a team driven by its defense. What a great bounce back game, and I'm looking forward to seeing it continue tonight in Philly. In some ways, we've got some really good confidence to come in there. In some ways, we got some gumption to get back. In some ways, like you guys have said, the Raptors have been a road warrior team in the past years. They really thrive being in us versus them environments with a hostile crowd. We're trying to prove things and stuff like that. We'll see how it is tonight. Now, Philly, this is the thing. Schedule makers, once again, we're coming on a back-to-back, coming straight from our arena last night to them. And the Philadelphia 76ers haven't played since Sunday. That's right. They've had Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off. They've had 3 days off to do this Harden trade and try and get acclimated and have some rest and take care of themselves back home. Yeah, it's kind of fucked up. Once again, the schedule makers really making it cushy for them to have a rest advantage in this game tonight. So yeah, they haven't played since they played Portland on Sunday. And that was the day before we played Portland. And we played 2 games since then. So you tell me, isn't that screwy? Isn't that screwy? We played 2 games since they played a game. Yeah, it's a little screwy. But you know what? Take the challenge. Let's go in there and beat their ass. We got good momentum. I like the way Scottie is dealing with things right now. He really is starting to show that he's ready to be the guy. But it looked good with Siakam filling in and doing a lot of good stuff too at the same time. Let's look at those guys because they are all 5 starters are my stars of the game. And I'm not delineating any other than they're all equal and all top stars in this game last night. Siakam, 33 minutes. I love the minutes total. 9 of 13. Amazing field goal percentage by Siakam. 5 of 8 from 3-point range. That is badass. Like, if Siakam gets 5 threes, that is a really good game. Like, we love that so much, Siakam. So if you could be dialed in and making threes like this on the regular, oh my gosh. 6 rebounds, 7 assists, stat stuff in Siakam, plus 22, 26 points. Siakam was badass. And once again, if he's not too heavily relied on the offensive end, you see good stuff from him on defense also. At some points, there wouldn't be no Scottie. There wouldn't be no Precious because he's hurt. No OG out there. And Siakam took Giannis to guard him. And so he was part of the really good defense on Giannis also. So, yeah, really, really proud of Siakam bouncing back, having one of those games for the haters to shut them the fuck up and also give us some fuel and feel goods about him coexisting with Scottie further into the future when we can see games like this last night. Now, it does seem like it's very dependent on these guys hitting their 3-pointers. And boy, did they do that last night, both of them. Scottie Barnes, fantastic game. Once again, he has scored 20 points in every single game this season so far. He's been absolutely fantastic and badass. Another double-double last night, 21 points with 12 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks, a plus 14, 4 of 6 from 3-point range for him, 8 of 16, 500 from the field overall. Yeah, Scottie, you are playing so good, man. And the great thing is, like Darko said after the game, some of the stuff about Scottie, Pascal, Jakob, OG, Dennis, these guys, what they did in the game last night does not reflect on the box score. The really amazing defense they played does not reflect on the box score. Scottie got Chris Middleton for a good chunk of the game, and he did not do a whole lot last night. Let's go look at Chris Middleton last night. So Scottie was shadowing him, 4 of 10 for Chris Middleton, 1 of 4 from 3, 11 points for Chris Middleton. He had 4 turnovers. You don't think that Scottie hounded him, caused a couple of those 4 turnovers? Yeah, they did. So, yeah, really proud of Scottie and Pascal and their defense balanced with really solid, strong offense too. Just really, really good play all around. Let's talk about Poeltl. Poeltl was 7 of 10. He's really important early in the game. He had a double-double, 14 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks. When you see those Jakob blocks early in the game, they're badass. I love when Jakob comes over and blocks stuff because it reminds me that we have a center. I'm telling y'all, I really do value having a real 5 and a real 1. It's so fun to actually have the real positions on a basketball team playing on our team now. It's so good. So good. Yeah, so many positives, Tom. So many positives. Tristan's here. Let's go, Tristan Phipps. Always good to see you, man. MSJ saying at Trevor, yep, OG is a beast. Him and Barnes are the future, in my opinion, and Gradey as well. Yeah, I hope so. OG is a really, really good player. He is so good. Like, he's so underratedly good. And he has a good baseline of why he's good because it all starts from the defensive end. And everything on top is gravy. And everybody wants him to just explode as an offensive player. I don't want him to do that at the detriment of his fantastic defensive baseline. So let the man just be who he is. Some of y'all have perceptions about what he should grow into that he may not have himself. And that I'm okay. Like, he's a top-notch player. Anybody in this league would love to have OG on their team. Trust me. They really, really would. So maybe we do need to extend this guy and keep him in the fold for sure. I'm all about that. Callie's here. What a game. I have to get my mind ready for a roller coaster ride of a season. The team and fans needed that game. Oh, my gosh, we did. In some ways, we're really lucky that Milwaukee kind of was like, and the They're still trying to fit in Coach Griffin's system, and it's not totally working yet. A lot of confusion for that team. I think Jack was spot on. And I kind of made this prediction when the season started and I saw our schedule. Sometimes it's good to play some of these top teams earlier in the season when they don't have their shit together. And Jack said that last night during the broadcast. In some ways, us playing Milwaukee right now may be in our favor. So, schedule makers, maybe you try to stack the deck against us at the beginning of the season. In some ways, it'll turn around and be in our favor, partly because of that, making us play Milwaukee and Philadelphia so many times right at the beginning of the season. Yeah, maybe some of that wasn't smart because they didn't have their shit together and we caught them. Yeah, we caught them. You go, Callie. Your stress meter, hopefully you can just keep even with it. I don't know. Just try and not swear too much. But maybe you do like swearing, so you have money in the swear jar at the end of the month. I don't know. MSJ saying, hate to press, but anyone know if there's a Raptor Freak meetup date? I just have to submit my work schedule tomorrow. Well, let's just do this, Chris. If you don't want to come all the way down to Real Sports for either Wednesday or Friday that week, come and meet us. I'll say this. All right, guys, I'll make it right now. There's a Raptor Freak meet and greet on the Thursday of that week. I don't know the date. Tom, you can tell them or whatever. That week when we have the first in-season tournament game against Boston. The day before that game is a Thursday. I will say let's meet at the Real Jerk at Gerard and Carlaw on Thursday night, and we'll go there for dinner, eating food, and hanging out. There's a karaoke night there that night. Maybe I'll get up there and sing some songs. I'll take some things. So Raptor Freak meet and greet on the Thursday between the Milwaukee and the Boston game at the Real Jerk, locally owned establishment, not a corporate establishment, and also a Black-owned establishment. So I would like to, support them. That's why I'm choosing that location, because it's also the place where they filmed that video with Drake and Rihanna way back, and it's the famous Real Jerk location. So that's where I would like to meet at Gerard and Carlaw on Thursday night between the Wednesday and the Friday game, Milwaukee and Boston that week. The Tom's here. We'll go there. We'll get some jerk wings, patties, all kinds of great food at the Real Jerk. And they have a karaoke night that night too, which I love karaoke. So if you guys want me to sing your favorite song, I'll get up there and sing it for you, because I sing anything. As long as I kind of know it, I will sing it. So yeah, there you go. Chris, if you want to ask for a night off and you don't want to come all the way down to Real Sports for afterwards with the crowd and stuff, we'll do it on that Thursday night. And maybe that works for a lot of different people who can't get to the games because of prices and don't want to mess with the crowds. We'll do the Real Jerk on that Thursday between those two games. Tommy, does that sound good to you? Sounds like a good time to me. Karaoke, Real Jerk, Jamaican food, and just a fantastic time with the Raptor Freak crew and the Raptor Freak family. Carlaw and Gerard that night will take over the Real Jerk. How about that, guys? Yeah, we'll go there. How about that, Chris? All right. Kareem saying, if anyone questioned the Jakob Poeltl move, fuck you. I love you, Kareem, and you're getting a dunk. Just for that, this is exactly what the team needed. Brook Lopez was completely shut down, and he used to torch us in the paint. Welcome back, Otto. Yeah, that's another one. We called it out for it. We went to the DJ booth, and the DJ listened. He's like, I got to get these annoying girls away from me. All right, I'll play Otto. And he played him, and he was sound and solid and awesome. We even got illuminated more about why he had not played so far this season. It was very calculated, y'all. Darko said that he was medically cleared at the beginning of the season, but he wanted to really honor his trainer's wishes about ramping him up properly to be able to play. And this was the first time that he felt like he was ready, and he put him in. Otto was fantastic. He fit in really well. He hit a shot, and he was really good leadership. In fact, he may be that steady person in the backup, the bench lineup that can really settle down Malachi and those guys and make them look a little bit more professional and like together. Because in some ways, he does certain things with confidence and knowledge and veteran that it just kind of makes us look more capable with our bench unit. So I think, like a lot of people said after the game last night, Otto needs to be in the rotation and playing every single game. And I agree. I mean, it's just a little bit more confidence in our bench when Otto is one of those five guys. So why wouldn't you use him? He looked great. He was moving really good. And the thing about Otto is not that he's a good three-point shooter, just that. he's a really good defender also. And he's also really smart, and he's really good at directing guys out there too. He's going to be huge for the development of Gradey. If you couldn't have a better person for Gradey to emulate than Otto Porter Jr. on this team next to him. And the trade secrets that Otto can give Gradey to fast track his knowledge and ability to be a good player in the NBA is it's invaluable. Because honestly, Grady's a sponge and he's listening. And just to have any kind of insight or any kind of veteran knowledge coming from Otto Porter Jr. and him being a three-point shooter and a badass for many, many years in this league, it's really, really a fruitful teacher relationship there. If he can teach Gradey some of his stuff, oh my gosh, this is good for our future. Seriously. So Otto's going to pay off. And after all, y'all, and we wanted him, we waited for him so long, 16 minutes. 2 of 4 from the field. All 4 shots were three-pointers, so he's 50% from 3. 2 offensive rebounds, 3 rebounds all around, 1 assist, 1 block, plus 11 off the bench, and 6 points. Yeah, Otto Porter Jr., fantastic. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for showing that you can still play. And he's hungry. He wants to get out there and show that he says he loves playing basketball. He wants to be back out there doing it. He doesn't want to be sitting at home. Maybe his daughter was being born last year and he's like, well, I want to be home with my kid and just be around the family and my toes hurt. But now it's not time to be daddy anymore. It's time to go to work. And that's what I love, that Otto's back and he's fitting in real nice. He looked really, really good. Really, really good. Now, the stuff about Jakob and Brook Lopez, Kareem, exactly right. Brook Lopez has been a problem for the Raptors without a center for a couple years. Well, he wasn't a problem last night. Let's look at that juxtaposition because it really is those guys and who they guard from the other side. Jakob, 7 of 10 with a double-double, 14 and 11. 4 offensive rebounds, by the way. Those are huge. And then we look at Brook Lopez, 1 of 8. 0 for 4 from 3. He was really coming out there and guarding him at 3, or at least daring him. He was bricking him. A minus 22 for Brook Lopez. The other thing about Lopez is he usually gets a bunch of blocks. He only got 1 block last night. So really, really good stuff. Really negating the strengths of the very, very good players on the Milwaukee Bucks. Brook Lopez was supposed to be a defensive player of the year or all defensive team last year. No, not against our team. No, what is that defensive player of the year or all defensive team award that he got? That's bullshit. Yeah. Fiercey's here. Good to see Fiercey. Good morning, fam, and happy Thursday. Great win yesterday. Sharing was caring. Once we get more accustomed to Darko's system, well, watch out. Also, great defense. We contained Giannis and Dame. We really did. It was fantastic. It was a dream. Like by the end of the first quarter, I was like, holy crap, we were going to hold the Bucks to under 20 points in the first quarter. I knew we were in good shape if we were going to be able to play that kind of defense. They only got 18 in the first quarter. Now, there was a problem in the third again. The third quarter seems like our Achilles heel presently. When we come back from halftime, the other team is coming out gangbusters and scoring big numbers on us in the third quarter. And that happened again last night. 35 points for the Bucks, and they did kind of claw back into the game a bit, but we kept the scoring up pretty good too. Yeah, I love seeing the lines between our score and their score were so wide the whole game because there was a little bit of threatening where like, okay, are they going to get it down to 10? And they were trying to do that. You could tell Lillard was talking some trash and really trying to like amp up his team around halfway through the third quarter to make that push to try and come and steal the game from us. But we had answers for them. And we also really stymied them when they did try to get it going to try and come back and beat us. And that was really good, like poise. In a couple of these games so far this season, we've crumbled in those situations and allowed the team to eat up our lead and beat us just barely at the end of the game. Oh my gosh. I hate that. And that's why even though we had a good lead and we felt good for most of the game, all of us were a little like, but this could, I'm not going to believe it until we get all the way in. And we got that W for sure. Because in some ways, we can have a great start. We can have a good first quarter. We can have a great first half. But the Raptors have to play the full 48 minutes, and they can't let their guard down, even if they're up by 27 points or 25 points. Y'all need to fucking play hard all the way through and never, ever let your guard down ever again, because that is how we lost games last year and already this year. So, we only want to do that. I love it. Yes, Fiercey, once we get more accustomed to Darko's system, watch out. It's really fun, the passing. And like I said, I saw some FIBA stylings in there, especially the actions with Dennis and Jakob. There's one play where Jakob was the trailer, and Dennis did an exact play from Team Germany this summer. And Jakob made a really crazy layup, like coming in as the trailer. And I was like, that's just like what they would fucking do with like Kleinman and Obst and all them from this summer. Seriously, there were a couple of German plays that were played last night. And even Dennis, how he got his 3-pointer on the corner, that was really kind of like a FIBA set. Really awesome. I love the European style of our coach and our players. And some people will say, well, does it fit? Is it going to win the NBA? Well, I think so. I think team play wins in the NBA. When you play more as a team instead of individuals, which is what the NBA wants, you can win basketball because fundamentally team beats individual. And I'm all about it. I'm all about it. I love it so much. G-San, Pascal was highly efficient. Yacht kept Giannis off the boards. OG is a clamp master. Dennis is the general. Scottie is the most improved, an all-star, and Otto is great off the bench. What's not to like? We saw Gradey coming off the bench again and looking pretty solid. Not like he makes rookie mistakes or looks out of place. He's out there 2 of 10. He could have shot a little better, but you know what? Those shots are going to fall. In some ways, there's an adjustment to the NBA game that he's going through. And he's actually making shots. So I'll say that. Some guys will come in as a rookie in his first couple months. They won't make the shots because the confidence has to build or something, but he's more likely to make the shots. He still has the confidence. So I really like where Gradey's at already this early in his career, 5 games into his career. This is insane. 2 of 10, 1 of 8. So that can get better. That can get better. Some of those shots were wide open. And if he's just a little bit more dialed in, they're going in. I'm telling you right now, only 5 points for Gradey and just 1 rebound in 20 minutes. But you can't say that they're wasted minutes or inefficient because he's all over the place. He's like really active. And one of the things I love about him is he can be an energy leader, just like Chris, just like Yuta used to be. In some ways, if our guys aren't picking up the pace or hustling or getting out there, I know Gradey will. Gradey has to do that because of who he is. He has to use every ounce of his ability. And part of his ability is hustle. So if there's anybody out there that's not going to be dogging it on the court, it's Gradey Dick. And in some ways, he can be, as I've called Yuta before in the past, that straw that stirs the drink. If our guys are getting a little lackadaisical and they're not really moving around on offense as much as they should, Gradey can be that kick in the butt as a motivator, as a role model, saying, well, you're not moving. Look at Gradey. Look at how he's moving. And I love that. I love that so much. Sometimes I see that this is the problem with our offense right now. We've been too slow on moving around. And some of the experts or people that really watch basketball on Twitter are like Steve Jones Jr., snapper Steve Jones Jr., has noticed that, what is the point of moving the ball all around if there's no intention to why we're moving the ball around? In some ways, you have to have a game plan in it. You can't just blindly, okay, we're doing 0.5. Let's pass the ball around the horn and all that kind of stuff. If you're not getting into the paint area, if you're not getting into matchup advantages where you can take advantage and try and score on them, well, what's the fucking point of moving the ball around? Move the ball around with meaning and purpose and intention. And also recognizing when the mismatches occur in the split second and utilizing them to take a very easy shot or use it to get a basket. That's what I'm saying. So there's a purpose to this. Don't just do it because this is Darko's system. 0.5, pass it around a lot. No, make purposes and reasons for why you do it and make them have outcomes that are good for you to score. You've really got to read it. You've got to read it. It's not just reading positioning and spacing. It's reading the matchup and who can beat who at what time and getting the ball to that person. And that person recognizing they got that and taking advantage of it. It's just like OG backing down a little baby and putting it on them. It's just like Scottie taking it to Giannis and putting it right down on his face. That's right. You got to recognize those matchup mismatches and take advantage of them, Raptors, because you got them all over the place. And in some ways, if you're just going to play hot potato and pass it around like that, no, that's not going anywhere. You got to look for those advantages and take them. Take them. That's what I'm saying. Tom Duke's saying Thursday, November the 16th. That's the day. Yeah. We'll go to the Real Jerk on the 16th of November. It's a karaoke night, and we'll have a fantastic time with tunes, food, and Raptorsfreak fun. There's no game to watch, so we'll just be there hanging out and talking to each other. Real Jerk, Carla, and Gerard, Thursday, November the 16th. We'll nail the time. Maybe it'll be around 7. I don't know, something like that. Let's see. Fiercely saying also it was Jakob's show early on. This is what we want. In some ways, Jakob should be kind of the center of attention at the very beginning of the game. This is historically a good thing to do as a good team in the league. It's something that the Bulls did all the time in the 90s, that they went to Bill Cartwright first. They didn't go to Michael Jordan. They didn't go to Scottie Pippen. They went to Bill Cartwright. They would throw that ball into Bill Cartwright in the post, and he would either kick it out to one of the other guys for a shot if somebody left him, or he would take the ball up in the post to try and establish a post presence to help the outside shot later on. It all benefits each other. The problem with the Raptors the last couple of years is our shooting has been so bad outside. They pack the paint and they don't respect our shooters. Well, if you guys continue to do that and our shooters get better, like Scottie and Pascal showed last night, then they can't pack the paint anymore. And then it becomes easier on the inside too. So the rigmarole for the Raptors right now is to consistently make your outside three-pointers, and it will open up the offense and everything better. You get that ball down to Jakob early, you establish a paint presence, just like Bill Cartwright and the Bulls back in the day. And then it opens everything up in different ways for people in other places. The other thing you want to establish is that protection of the paint on the other side of the court. And that's a very important thing that Jakob does as a starter on our team also. He establishes these are the property lines, and you ain't coming in here to do nothing like this. And if you try and get by me, I'm coming and I'm going to try and block you. And that's an important thing to establish at the beginning of the game. In some ways, people are like, well, Jakob, what is he useful for? And so, like, you motherfuckers that don't watch basketball or understand classic basketball or fundamental basketball, realize he's setting up the paint protection. And if he doesn't close at the end of the game, he can't play at the end of the game. That's fine, because he did a lot of the establishing of things very early in the game, very, very early in the game. And that's why we want to see Jakob regularly active and a focal point at the beginning of games, because he opens up things for everybody else for the whole entire game if he gets that stuff done right away, like he did last night. There you go. That's right. Jakob show on early. That's right, baby. I love that dude so much. I love him so much. That's right. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptorsfreak crew. W for the book. We left town on a good W. Yeah, they got some swagger. This road trip's going to be interesting. It's a long road trip. They're all spread out games. Like, they're going to play tonight, and then they don't play again till Sunday. And they got to go to San Antonio, and then they go to Dallas 2 days after that. So there's like 2 days off in between all these games, but they're on the road. In some ways, that's an insidious way of the NBA schedule makers to make those kind of days be on the road, and we can't be at our own facility, which is crazy. It's not like we're going to go to Texas and fly back we're going to be down there for like 2 days off, between San Antonio and Dallas. Even this trip to Philly, we're going to Philly tonight, but in some ways, do we come back to Toronto after this game and hang out for a couple days and then go to San Antonio on Saturday? I don't know. In some ways, the spread outness between these games annoys me, because we had them so jammed up just now since the start of the season, and now all of a sudden we're going to get these games all spread out like this. Yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying, especially because it's all on the road. We got Philly tonight on the road, San Antonio, Dallas, and then Boston on the road. Right, 4 in a row, just like that. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm sure you went to the game last night, Cool Cat, and I'm hoping you had a blast. And your guy did so good last night. I'm so proud of him, and his redemption arc will still happen. I believe it. I believe it. This man is redeeming himself, and he's making himself just the badass that he has always been. We love you, Siakam. We love you so much. Evelyn's here. Good to see Cranny Swag. Good morning, fam. That was the game we're looking for. We mean business, haters. Just look at the stats. It's very compelling. Let's go Raps. I'll look at the stats some more, Evelyn. I will listen to you because I love you. And I will listen, and I'll go look at the stats. Yeah. Let's see. Let's look at some more bench guys that played last night. Chris Boucher, 13 minutes, 2 of 4 from the field, 6 points, 5 rebounds, an assist and a steal. Really solid for a short period of time. Energy and just making stuff happen. He did have 3 quick fouls, and he was a -10. But I'll still take Chris and his contributions of energy and rebounding. 5 rebounds in 13 minutes. I'll take it. I'll take it. Garrett Temple getting a little short stint, 3 minutes near the end of the game. He did score 2 free throws, so he wasn't scoreless. Everybody scored in the game. But, yeah, good to see Garrett get out there for a sec, even if it wasn't really useful. But, he got in. Malachi, disappointing once again, but I'm not going to call out Malachi or get upset about him. In some ways, he did a lot of good things. In some ways, he's good on the court when he's steady, but he doesn't score, which sucks. And in some ways, we want him to score more. 19 minutes, only 2 points, 1 of 3. He missed his only 3-point shot, but he did get 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. He did have 3 turnovers. So Malachi's kind of a mess. But on the same token, after a game like last night, we're not going to go negative in any kind of way. We're just going to be happy our guys won. Gary is still slumping also. 4 of 11, 0 for 5 for all 5 of his threes, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, +8, though, with 8 points. Gary showed little signs of life, but in some ways, I'm worried about Gary. This has happened before, though. We've seen him slump like this before, and he snaps out of it at some point. So I think this is just a normal slump for him. I have no idea why this is going on. Some ways the free throw percentage he has this year so far really worries me. Gary, get your head out of your ass. You're a professional. We believe in you. You haven't worked so hard your whole life with your dad to get to this point. You're going to be fine. I know you're going to snap out of it. And hopefully you can tonight and get some of that revenge against Nick Nursery. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. All right, let's keep going with the chat. All right, Fiercely Sam, Lex, what are the stats in terms of plus minus? The stats in terms of plus minus? Like as far as who's got what and what's got what? Well, our best plus minus on the team last night, or 2 best plus minus, were Siakam and Poeltl. They were both plus 22. Schröder was a plus 21. So those 3, the starters really were the best plus minus. The starters were absolutely our best part of the team. A plus 16 for OG, a plus 14 for Barnes, a plus 11 for Otto, and a plus 8 for Gary. The rest of the guys on the bench were all minuses. Chris Boucher, the biggest minus at minus 10, a minus 4 for Garrett, a minus 2 for Malachi, and a minus 3 for Gradey. You look at the other side, if you want to talk about the other side, Dame Lillard, a minus 26, the worst on the other side. A lot of people are saying, and like I said this summer, the Bucks are going to miss Drew Holiday, and the defensive downgrade from him to Lillard is very pronounced. You can ask the Trailblazers fans; they're going to tell you that man don't play the right defense. Minus 23 for Malik Beasley, who was their best player, is crazy. We're getting killed by Beasley. 6 of 9 for 3 for that guy. 7 of 10. If you're going to tell me that we needed to worry about Malik Beasley last night, out of all their players, I would have told you, shut the fuck up. You telling me Malik Beasley's gonna do something to us? Yeah. He was a problem at times last night. Minus 22 for Brook Lopez, a minus 13 for Chris Middleton, a minus 10 for Pat Connaughton, and also Giannis Antetokounmpo. So all their guys were minuses. They had a couple of end of bench guys that were plus. Their highest plus was Livingston and Green at plus 6. So yeah. Not very good plus minuses around there. I want to talk about what happened with Dennis and Jay Crowder last night. Did you guys see that play where Jay took a 3-point shot and Dennis was trying to run back up the court, but Jay stuck his foot out and there was a foul called on Dennis, and they were trying to, they were going to look at it if it was an unsafe play, but it wasn't. But they're still saying it was a foul, even though they should have called it where Jay Crowder got the foul because he did a kick out with his foot. That's a foul now, referees. If somebody's trying to bait a foul contact on a 3-point shot by kicking their leg out to make contact with the other person, that's an offensive foul at this point. Y'all made that rule for James last year, and you didn't enforce it in that play. Now, the thing about it that was annoying, Jay Crowder's a big bully, but did you see how Dennis reacted there? And it's hilarious. Bobby Portis Jr. came and walked in between them like they were going to fight. Dennis is a badass, first of all. Patrick Beverly, you're going to try and say we don't have dog. That man was about to fight a man that outweighs him by a lot. He was about to throw down with Crowder in that moment because there was some talking shit. And Jay Crowder probably said some disrespectful thing to Dennis Schröder, and Dennis Schröder wasn't having it, just like he's normally like that. I love seeing that by Dennis in that moment. No fear. It doesn't matter that man's 6'9" and he outweighs you by 50 pounds. He will get in his face and he will stand his ground. And I love it. And it's not like the other Raptors were coming to stand next to him to back him up. Meanwhile, the center is with Jay Crowder, the 2 biggest guys on the court for the Bucks at that time, are about to fight the smallest guy on our court. Yeah, Dennis, you're a badass. I love how you handled that. You didn't back down. And that we need more of that attitude on our team. That's a great role model for our guys to not be soft and not be chumps. Yeah, that's right. Stand up to Jay Crowder. I love that. I love that so much. Dennis, you are a badass. I mean, I'm so happy with Dennis being on our team. And anybody who isn't happy about Dennis being on our team, you're stupid. Listen, we are lucky. We're getting him at a maturity point in his career where he's blossoming into a full-fledged starting point guard in this league. He's been ready to do this, and now he's fully ready. The confidence from FIBA World Cup being the MVP. In some ways, what Jack said about, like, look, filling the shoes of Fred VanVleet is very difficult. And Dennis has more than admirably been filling those shoes in a very, very productive, efficient way. In fact, we could think about this. If we had Fred instead of Dennis right now, what do you think Fred's stat lines would look like stacked up against Dennis Schroeder's stat lines so far this season? Seriously, tell me what you think Fred would have been shot in the first 5 games compared to what Dennis has done so far. Tell me how his assist numbers would look compared to Dennis's assist numbers right now. Yeah, we got a real point guard right now, and we got an upgrade. To be damn honest, we got an upgrade. A player that's more dependable and more astute in certain ways that I like for our team this year. So yeah, I love Dennis Schroeder right now. He's like seriously my favorite Raptor right now. Just because the way he's come in as a pro, his channel, all the different things. We've seen Ellen drop something yesterday on her YouTube channel, watching the Chicago game at home, and she went through the whole emotions of how we went through that game and how shitty it was. And like she was really confident we're going to win. And then she showed them watching the overtime and it was awful. But then like all kinds of cool stuff. They went to the mall again. She said, it's going to take me forever to go through this mall. This mall is giant. I can't be here and figure this whole place out. It seems like she really wants to go through the whole Yorkdale Mall and inventory everything in every store so she knows what is available to buy. And she's like, it's impossible. You get to this corner and there's 4 directions to go in and you don't know which way to go. She's not used to such a huge mall like the Yorkdale Mall in Toronto. She's also talking about how it takes so long to get to the Yorkdale Mall from her house. Well, you're living over near Mississauga and the Lakeshore. So, of course, it's going to take you a little while to get to the Yorkdale Mall from there. Yeah. But that's cool. Cool content. And we see the kids trick-or-treating in their neighborhood. And it's a lot of fun. They got a lot of candy. And Ellen was out with them, of course. I think Dennis didn't feel like walking around. Obviously, he's kind of in rest mode between games. But, yeah, the kids had a good, fun Halloween. Junior Schroeder dressed up as Batman. Yeah. And his daughter as Elsa. And listen, those kids keep him grounded. You see him coming out of the game when they lose, and he may look sad, and he just grabs his daughter or his little son, Bubba, and he just holds them. And that brings it all back to what matters is the family. Once again, Dennis has got things going in his life really good right now. Let me tell you, in all kinds of ways. Yeah. Evelyn's saying meet and greet. Woohoo. You going to be there, Evelyn? Yeah. Come to 17th, I guess is the date. November 17th is a Thursday. The Real Jerk, Carlaw and Gerard, 7 o'clock. Let's just say that 7 o'clock. Come on down there. Maybe we'll come a little early if you guys like to eat a little earlier. Maybe I'll just say 6. We'll say 6 because it's the 6. So 6 o'clock. I'll be there for sure. And if anybody, Tom and I'll be there. How about that for sure? And we'll be there eating. And anybody who wants to show up, it doesn't even have to be somebody who talks to us. You just come in there and say the word Raptorsfreak and see me in there. Just come and sit down. You don't even have to be a regular contributor in our chat. If you just love the channel and you've been watching us for a long time, you want to come and meet us, you can come down there on that day. We're going to be there. Fiercely saying, thank you, Trevor J, for your words of wisdom. Yeah, Trevor J is a really great baseline for things. There's a lot of contributors on this channel that I really value. And Trevor J being the commissioner is one of them. Kareem saying, I'll let Embiid get his empty stats tonight, but we need to tame Maxey. Maxey can't go for plus 30 against us. Man, he does this to everybody. It's funny. I've got a Maxey story for you right now. In some ways, it's really crazy how we just can't hate Maxey. How did Tyrese Maxey found out about his first Eastern Conference Player of the Week win? Well, he won the Eastern Conference Player of the Week, and him or Embiid could have won it, honestly. Him and Jokic are the Players of the Week for the first week of the season. And he says, my mom told me. I didn't know what she was talking about, but she was like, it's on Twitter. My grandmother knows everything. So she told my mom, and my mom told me. I was just like, okay, that's cool. This is Maxey finding out how he was the Player of the Week from his mom through his grandmother. How can you hate that? How can you hate that? The young man is just so likable. And in some ways, I never thought we'd get to this point where there's a Sixer that I absolutely respect and love, even though he absolutely kills us. There's nothing about Maxey that I can hate because he's such a nice young man. He's just such a good dude. He does it right. He's not overly cocky. He's respectful, and he's just such a good talent. You have to respect it. So Sixers fans, you got a real one in him. And in some ways, you're so lucky to have Tyrese Maxey. If we can figure out how to slow him down and maybe have some schemes to do better against him, we saw him on Saturday and we saw what not to do against him. Maybe we can make adjustments, and Coach Darko has a better scheme for trying to slow that young man down, because he is really hard to slow down. And this is the thing. Don't get upset, because he does this to everybody in this league. It's not like we're like just getting beaten by Maxey over and over again. He's doing it to everybody. We're not special. We're not special. But if we can slow him down, Kareem, that would be a huge plus and a change from the last game, because we couldn't in the last game. That's for sure. Maybe we can figure out how to cut the water off on one of them. And, it could be that we have OG tonight, and that is a big difference. Having our master plumber available for this one against the Sixers and not having him on Saturday was a difference. So, OG's going to play tonight. Thankfully, hopefully, I'm knocking on wood just in case, and hopefully he can maybe either slow down Embiid or Maxey, at least one of them, instead of both of them going off like they did on Saturday. That could be a way that things get helpful for us, for sure. Fun guy saying, yes, sir, our winning energy yesterday was justified. We just knew that was a game we could win, but oh man, what a performance. We had the feeling, but in some ways the confidence wasn't totally there. I was just saying, if we could hang with them, if we could beat them. No, this is a pleasant surprise. This is really way, way better than I thought we would do last night. In some ways, if the Bucks had came correct and they were legitimately who they're supposed to be, that game wouldn't have been like that last night. In some ways, they were super flat, and we were lucky to get them on a very flat night. Like they say, there's like 5 games every season where you're just not going to win because you suck so bad. And I feel like the Bucks kind of had that game last night, one of those kind of games. And we just happened to be lucky in some ways to be playing them last night. Now, I don't want to discredit how well we played also, but there is a little bit of both contributing to why we won last night. We played absolutely fantastic, for sure. And we probably would have beat them even if they played better. But they did play pretty bad. We have to admit that they did play. They were off, and they didn't look good at all. But maybe how much of that was OG-itis and the master plumbing company of Barnes and Anunoby. Yeah, there you go. I don't know. It could be. Cool Cat saying, I am so worried about Koloko's health and the impact on our team. Yeah, we just want that backup center. We just need that backup center. We need his shot blocking. We need him to progress and develop as a young player and get better and better. I'm with you on that. MSJ saying, Fletch, laugh out loud. Funny movie. Wasn't he a Lakers fan in that movie? Yeah, he's a huge Lakers fan, but that's fine. We're not playing in the LA teams. And, it could be that JT Orr is a bit of a Lakers or a Clippers fan. He is from California. He is very much from California. It's kind of funny that these 4 guys in the Clippers are all from California. Russell, James, Kawhi, and Paul George. They're all California guys. Now they all play for the Clippers. It's such a nice, cute little set of malcontents and weirdos. Where's Waldo and Mr. Load Management and Mr. I'm going to demand a trade every year and get to a new team, and Mr. Russell Westbrook. Yeah, it's a weird thing with Steve Ballmer's doing out there and stuff like that. In some ways, I hate that what they're doing, and I think Harden's going to mess them up. In some ways, I really do believe this is a dumb move, and in some ways, the Clippers may have had a better chance to win the championship before they did this move. And that they did this just to help Harden out or to be flashy, or Steve Ballmer's just like, I'm rich. I can do whatever I want. I'm going to sign James Harden. That's great. There's reports that are saying that James Harden will never speak to Daryl Morey ever again. Okay. I could see that. I could see that for sure. Yeah, Fletch is a good movie, and he was a Lakers fan. Definitely. So JT Orr probably is too. But we're not playing the Eastern Conference today, so it's probably okay. Now, Mark Lindsay being from Philadelphia, yeah, that's a little bit more suspicious. It could be that he just lives nearby. And you're like, hey, can you go ref the Sixers game? Yeah, I won't be biased to them. See my record? They don't win when they have me as a ref. Okay, I'll take it. Mark Lindsay wants to be the family guy from Philadelphia. Don't call calls for Philadelphia, man. Don't do it. And some of the Philly fans may not like Mark Lindsay in some ways. All right, let's see. Kareem Thomas is saying, damn, Pearl Jam, painting, biscuits and gravy, dog rescue. This man shouldn't be a referee. He should be running to be the next Bachelor. JT Orr, yeah. Kareem. I know. I like his list of stuff, man. Pearl Jam, painting, biscuits, and gravy. This is a salty earth kind of guy. You got to love JT Orr, our middle ref tonight. That's right. David loves it too. He's laughing. Fiercely saying, yeah, I hate to compare, but damn, Dennis is bringing it as our new point guard. So smart and greatly contributes in terms of offense, defense, and team spirit. He's really good with the flow of the game. He's really good with picking his spots. He's really good with setting people up. He's really good with his court vision. He's really good with his dogged defense. He's really good because he's making his threes. Yeah, there's a lot of things to like about what Dennis is doing. He's dependable. That's one of the things I like. In some ways, he is an upgraded Jeff Dowtin Jr. He's a very similar player to Jeffrey Dowtin Jr. in some ways, but he's a more savvy, established, better player than Jeffrey. And in some ways, that's part of the reason why Jeff's not on our team anymore, because Dennis is a lot of things that Jeffrey was himself. Cool Cat saying those refs tried all their might to take away our game. Foul shots festival to help the Bucks. Look at the free throw disparity. Raptors have to focus on beating 8 and not let the game get close. Yeah, and that's what we did last night. That's right. I thought they were pretty fair. Honestly, I thought they were pretty fair, and I wasn't upset with them. I thought they did a pretty good job. Who did we have again yesterday? We had like JB DeRosa, and we had the new ref Tyler Merkovich. You know, there were a couple of weird calls, but for the most part, there wasn't any real bad ref manipulation. Y'all can look at the free throw disparity and be upset about that, but in some ways, that doesn't upset me because listen, you can say that we beat 5 on 8 in some ways, but I don't totally believe that. I think the refs were pretty good last night, even though the free throws don't look right, even though they don't look right. David's saying, if we play well, they can do whatever they want. We win anyway. That's exactly right. In some ways, that's the overpowering badassery of our defense. It's just so long and so overwhelming and so hard to beat. Like, these guys just aren't getting open shots. They're working to get them, but if we stay at home and play one-on-one, they can't find them because our wingspans are so long. Everything they shoot is agitated. And then you add in the rim protection of Jakob this year, where you see how much nobody's doing anything near the basket on us this year, like last year, because they get in there. He's irritating them. He's either physically there, he's either putting his hand up. You know, Giannis had a shot that was right at the basket last night, and Jakob was in between him, and he missed it. And Jakob grabbed that rebound. I was like, that's right. That's the defense we've been crying out for a couple of years since Serge and Mark left. That we needed that rim protection. The guy that's going to just stymie guys down near the basket. He's fucking up Giannis from scoring near the basket. That is really good defense. That's really, really good defense down there. It's awesome. I love it. Yeah, we can do whatever. We play that way. We can beat anybody, even with the refs' help. That's right, David Saborn. I love it. I love it. You're going to come to that meet and greet, I hope. David, you and Peter come down the Real Jerk on that Thursday. That'll be awesome. I guess it's 2 weeks from today is what the date is it? No, wait, 2 weeks? Yeah, I think that is, because today's Thursday, right? So it'll be like 2 weeks from today is the meet and greet. There you go. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Monique is saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. 3 stars of the game, Dennis, Pascal, and Yak. But seriously, everyone, happy game day. Let's beat Philly this time. Those are great 3 stars, Monique. And I hope you had a fantastic time watching the game last night. I'm sure you did. For me, I can't stop at 3 stars. I'm going to give all 5 starters all the number 1 star because I feel like they were all equally very, very good. All 5 of the starters were fantastic. No dead spots in that lineup last night. OG clamping it. That's right, Fiercey. All right, let's see what Random Gamer has to say. Philly fan in the house, our friendly Philly fan. When it comes to the playoffs, I don't trust the Bucks. I don't think their role players are good enough. A team with length and good defenders can beat them, and that exactly is what the Raptors and the Celtics have. Yeah, I mean, I'm worried about them in some ways, but I'm not because I don't care because I want them to lose. Listen, they didn't just lose Drew Holiday. There's a couple other players that were on their team last year that were helpful to them in role player ways that are lacking right now. I can't remember who they are specifically. Maybe it's like Joe Ingles. People like that, Dante DiVincenzo kind of players, people that they had last year that are just gone because of whatever, free agency. I guess one of them would be Drew Holiday for sure, but there's another one that I'm not remembering that they talked about a little bit last night that they were saying that the Bucks kind of missed that had left in the offseason. So, yeah, their role players and their bench is a lot different than last year. And they're a different team. They're a different team with a new coach, a rookie coach. And in some ways, the stuff we're going through with Darko, Milwaukee's going through with Adrian too. Now, this is what Jack said last night, and he's exactly right. Jack was on fire last night. And in fact, I went and watched the highlights for a game on NBA.com, and everybody, all the NBA fans that watched it were like, wow, the Raptors are fun to watch. Like I said they would. And they were also like, I love their announcers. They're so passionate with the call. They're like, wow, that guy who calls for those dunks, like Matt Devlin, the way he was calling it, the regular NBA fans in the States were digging it. They watched our highlights against the Bucks, and they were all over it in the comments saying, man, the Raptors announcers are awesome, and they're fun to watch. Like, look at what Scottie's doing. And everybody in there in the comments is saying Scottie's the best player from his draft class. This is just undeniably unanimous right now by a common NBA fan that it's not about Mobley versus Barnes anymore. It's clear cut. And apparently Evan Mobley had a pretty shit stat line last night. And meanwhile, Scott's out there doing what he is. Yeah, he separated himself and proven he was a rightful rookie of the year, his rookie year, and that he is the best player from his draft class. And then here, why don't we just toot the horn of our front office once again for making a really brilliant draft after the Tampa season? People are not giving enough credit to Masai and Bobby. The whole reason why we have Scottie Barnes right now is because of them. So anybody who's critical and said that they haven't done anything, well, look, they just got the best player in that draft class, and it's evident at this point. This is a win for Bobby and Masai, and y'all need to toot that horn, negative anti-Raptors front office people, and open your goddamn eyes and see that is something they did. That's right. Yeah, it's interesting, Random Gamer. Just like us, they have a new coach. They're figuring out a new system, and there's some things to figure out. Y'all are the same too. But in some ways, Nick, he's so fucking prepared and such a maniac that he's got y'all bought in and figured out. And also the nature that y'all being a veteran team that's mostly still together and playing together, and they don't have to figure each other out. Well, it's easier for Nick to have an easier assimilation into being the Sixers coach this year. Yeah, I'm excited about tonight. We're on a cloud nine. Y'all are rested. Maybe you'll be a little lackadaisical because y'all haven't played since Sunday. And y'all have had a lot of good feelings. And sometimes those good feelings don't give you the gumption, especially when a team's like us right now is a little bit feeling good, but also still real hungry. And we do have get back to get against y'all from the Saturday night game. For sure. It's going to be fun. Best of luck to both teams. Stay healthy for both sides. Nobody get hurt. And all the best and good sportsmanship cheer to you, Random Gamer, in your own personal life and your schooling and everything going on with you. Always happy to see you here with us, my man, even though we're enemies today. That's right. Tom Duke is saying, hang on, he's got the food out for the refs. I love it. Let's see what the refs have got in emoticon food today. Let's see, Tommy, what do you got on the table for them to bite down and yum yum on yum 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 yum. All right, where is it? Why am I so far behind? You guys have gone crazy today. You filled up the hoop like the Raptors did. All right, let's see. Cowboys cooking. All right, he's got the barbecue out. All I heard was biscuits and gravy, asparagus and steak. Yeah, so there's gravy. There's a meat. I see that. There's no asparagus. They get onions. You're giving them onions. Don't give them onions. What does Evan Scott want? He wants steak and asparagus. Mark Lindsay didn't have any food listed, so he doesn't get food. That's why there's only 2 meals. It's steak and asparagus and biscuits and gravy. David's saying venison, not steak venison. That's right. We got some deer meat from last night. Don't even put it in the meat freezer. Go ahead and take it and just put it directly on the grill. You don't need to freeze it. We'll eat it fresh today, right now. Yeah, that's right. Fiercely saying, the moment Giannis stepped on the court, I knew it was a wrap. I hate the fact that he wastes a roster spot thanks to his brother, but hey, not our problem. I was talking about that with Adriana last night. I was like, oh, they put Giannis's brother in. That must really mean the game's over. It's like his brother plays for the team. I was like, yeah, they put him on the team to make Giannis happy. He probably shouldn't be in the NBA. Yeah, I was teaching Adriana about that last night. Yeah, he is kind of the sign. They bench those guys so early. I'm like, you don't have any confidence on these guys trying to come back? I mean, it's Dame Lillard, Adrian Griffin. He's supposed to be able to make some points up real fast and do that killer stuff. I was worried still. I was like, okay, you're going to wave the white flag and bring your bench in? All right, I'll stop being so stressed out then. I won't be on Cali's stress meter if you're going to bring the bench in at this point. MSJ saying at this point, The Fred VanVleet conversation is over. The money he wanted, no. And he's clearly not any better than Dennis. Yeah, I mean, in some ways, it's very true. Dennis has just filled in like perfectly. He's been such a huge home run. Once again, I'm gonna toot the horn of the front office of the Raptors, and like they didn't even know that Dennis was gonna go to FIBA and get the MVP and go to this level of confidence, but they made a gamble and they got him, and boy, is it paying off. And once again, I'm going to say that's an accomplishment of the front office of the Raptors. Y'all think that they're not doing a good job. Well, open your fucking eyes and look at what the job they're doing. They are doing a good job. Dennis Schröder, Scottie Barnes. Holy crap, Scottie Barnes. Holy crap. Cowboy saying, good morning, Lex. Raptor Freaks. Man, let's go. Let's go, Cowboy. It's Thursday. Let's get it. And David is praying for a win tonight against Philadelphia. I love it. Naco the Nacho saying, it's so weird for the Bucks defense to be this bad. I guess it's still early, but maybe they shouldn't have traded for Dame. We might have been saying the same thing, although we seem like we have something that could have protected or covered him up better. You know, in some ways, we were doing that last year with Fred. We could do it for Dame. I don't know. In some ways, I'm so glad we don't have Dame Lillard right now. I really am. He seems like just like a sourpuss and kind of like annoying. I get it. He's a great player. He's one of the top 75 players of all time. I don't believe he is. I don't believe he is. If he's on the top 75 players of all time, Alex English should be on the top 75 players of all time. If he's on the top 75 players of all time, they should go back and get World Be Free and put him on the top 75 players of all time. I mean, seriously, what is this criteria? This man has no championships. Oh, he's got a bunch of scoring. There's a lot of guys who got a lot of scoring, and they're not in the top 75 because they're not a recency bias. There's all kinds of players like Dame Lillard from other eras that are completely forgotten. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. In some ways, Dame Lillard is a Michael Redd, and to me, in some ways, it's like, oh, does anybody remember Michael Redd? No, they don't, and they should. They should. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but they should. But nobody remembers Michael Redd. Does anybody remember Rolando Blackman? No. Does anybody talk about Rolando Blackman? No. In some ways, this is who Dame Lillard should be in like 10 or 15 years. I'm telling y'all. In some ways, he's so overhyped, and he should have been nowhere near that top 75 team. Him and fucking Harden. They shouldn't be on that team. And Anthony Davis. There's like 3 recent guys that have no business being on the top 75 team because they just don't fucking fit, is what I'm saying. Yeah. David Saborn saying, let's go. Monique saying, great to see Otto jump off the books last night. Yeah. We asked for it and we got it. Thank you, Darko. DJ Darko, listening to the people. Spinning it just like 4 corners. The request line is said, Otto Porter. All right. Play that Pointer Sisters. It's Otto. It's automatic. Pointer Sisters. That's right. It's automatic. Let's see. G saying Griffin is getting dragged. Their offense looked horrible. No movement, no communication. Drew and even Grayson are a huge hit on defense. That's the guy. Grayson Allen. He, in some ways, is very much like missing from them. In some ways, that's right. He's on Phoenix. That is the dude I was trying to remember just now. Drew and Grayson Allen leaving the Bucks is bad for them. It's very, very bad for them. I'm finding out. Yeah, I feel bad for Griff. Jack said it last night. In some ways, Adrian Griffin has more pressure on him to be successful with Dame Lillard and Giannis than Nick Nurse did in his rookie year with the Raptors and Kawhi. He's exactly right. In some ways, there's a whole lot of room for Adrian to not be successful and really get the fucking horror. Like, he could be part of the reason why Giannis really regrets getting this mega extension that he just did. He said he wants to be in a winning situation. Well, they don't have the confidence with the coach. That's what I'm saying. New coaches are always risky. You can think it's going to work, but the players have to take to him and have confidence in him and listen to him, and success has to come at the same time. And if that stuff doesn't line up in the right way, it can be all kind of herky-jerky. Trust can be lost, and then it never actually materializes. There's no slam dunk for the Milwaukee Bucks with Dame Lillard here and Adrian Griffin as a coach. It has to be figured out. In some ways, Adrian Griffin was getting his season ready not with Dame Lillard in mind. And I would worry that maybe Lillard coming in the way he is and the gravitas of his legacy and his veteranism and who he is and carries himself, maybe it messed up the equation in some ways of Griff's leadership. In some ways, you know, it's like you're a rookie head coach and we're like all NBA, like top 75 players, do we need to listen to you in some ways? Especially what you're telling us what to do isn't adding up to us winning. Because look, that's Giannis. I'm Dame Lillard. We need to be winning. This is really scary for Griff. And as somebody who cares about him and likes a guy, I feel bad for him. This could be a very scary season, and he could be a fail. And he may not be a good NBA coach. He may be a very good assistant coach, but he may not be good in a good NBA coach. And that's the kind of the vibes I got from last night. And they're dragging him. I'm sure they are. Fiercely saying, yeah, it would sound weird to say Dick got balls. Yeah, Dick got balls. Pause. Yeah, it's really weird. Matt Devlin's all about his last name. I don't think he said the word Gradey once this year. He's referring to that player, number one. He's calling him Dick. He's called him Dick in every kind of way while he's been calling these games. I think he's having fun with it. I think there's a kid inside of Matt Devlin that giggles inside every time he has to call something with Gradey. Yeah. MSJ saying that charge for sure. Dick his balls for standing in there and getting level. He's a player, all-round baller. All right, Chris. You want one for that? You get it. All right, fine. MSJ getting a dunk for a dick joke. All right, let's see. David's saying, yep. And Monique saying, offense was very beautiful. Man, I hope it could be like this more often. But, Nick's going to scheme for this kind of stuff. He watched the game last night, and he's probably figuring out all kinds of stuff to try and stymie the goodness we derived from our offense last night. See, that's the whole thing. It's an adjustment game. In some ways, we've got to be quicker to adjust. Top saying, great team win. Everyone played well, except maybe Gary. The way Scottie led the team out the gate, Pascal followed his lead, was dope. Yeah, there's nothing to hate. And in some ways, I don't even want to talk about any of the dark spots on the team. All contributed, even if it wasn't looking pretty with some of them. Dana's saying, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Canadian Dana. What a sunshiny day in the 416 after a great victory last night. Let's see. Yeah, Fiercey, pause. MSJ, please, pause. Seymour saying, I knew OG would come up big. Ta-da. I love don't live here anymore. Winning tough ones is so awesome. Yeah, it's a fun game, wasn't it, Seymour? You feel a little better now. I know you've been very angry, and hopefully we help with your anger management. Okay, I don't bites here. We got the other Sixers fan with us here too, of course. But this is the one that's a little bit more acrimonious. Not our favorite, like Random Gamer, but let's see what he's saying. Good win last night, Bucks, but it's time. It's Sixers time. Okay, what? You think you're Vader or something? It's time. It's time. It's Sixers time. Like what? You are Leon White with your smelly ass coming to the ring. Did you know that Vader was voted the most smelly wrestler in the history of wrestling? Like all the wrestlers hated wrestling Vader because Vader had BO and he had the most smelliest mask. That mask that he wore over his head, he never washed it. And that man would run around the whole country wearing that mask. He smelled so bad, y'all. That's what I've heard in all kinds of shoot interviews from wrestlers since. Yeah, it's time. It's Vader time. It's Sixers time. Front runner for 2024 Coach of the Year, Nick Nurse, with the dynamic duo of MVP Embiid, fake MVP, and Mad Maxey. Let's go. I can't wait. Just bring it, jabroni. We're going to take you down to SmackDown Hotel and hopefully smack you guys around tonight. Yeah, we'll see. We're coming in with some confidence. Hopefully we'll learn from the game on Saturday, and maybe we'll get a better outcome this time and beat y'all on your own home court. That's what we like to do. Come to Wells Fargo and send y'all home before you get to play your dumb little song at the end of the game. So hopefully that's what's happening, that we can beat y'all. And Nab Bhatia is like saying bye-bye to you guys at your home court. Bye. See you. Have a good drive home. All right, bye. That's what I'm hoping is going to happen tonight. That's right. Wayne Strainer saying cheers for the Caribbean. There's a total lockout of the game last night stream-wise, but I was rescued by Raptors Digest streaming live. Big up to them. Great win by the Raptors. All smiles around. What? Oh, you're in the Caribbean. You're actually over in the Caribbean, so you had a hard time finding the game. Wayne, I can always help you with that. It doesn't matter where you are. I can get you the game where you are. But we will talk about that on our own time. That's good that you found it and you got access to it through Raptors Digest. Good job, Ben Rogers. Good job getting Wayne Strainer the game last night. That's awesome. Cool Cat saying, you know what is funny? Schröder is 30. No one says he's old. Pascal's 29, yet they say he's old and is being called Unk by the youngins. That's funny. They call him Unk. That's funny. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. But Siakam's not old. I don't think I perceive them as old. Honestly, they're not old. The guys that are old, we know who they are. Thaddeus. We know who's the old guys on this team. And I don't consider Siakam old. I really don't. In some ways, it's not even just your age. It's about your body and your like vitality and the way you move. Like Fred, to me, he seems like he's gonna get old sooner. Just because he's smaller and he's kind of more chunkier and bigger. Siakam's so lithe and he's quick and he's slender. In some ways, he looks like very healthy. And I could see him, like, I won't consider him old until maybe like he's 35 or something like that. Sometimes it has to do with that and the player's body and how in shape they are. I don't think of Siakam. I've never thought of Siakam as being old. I've never thought that. Who's saying that? You're saying that people on the team call him Unk. Maybe it's because he hangs out with Rico a lot. It's like those are his uncle guys, Uncle Rico and Uncle Pascal. Top saying the only thing that was a bit disappointing was post game. Pascal didn't acknowledge his part in rebounding issues in Portland game, and I didn't see him speaking post game after Portland loss. You know what? Fuck that, Top, and fuck you for saying this. He doesn't owe us that shit. Come on. Everybody's saying, oh, Siakam will come and do the post game when they win, but he won't come and face the music in a game like Portland on the other night. Fuck all that bullshit. And once again, why are you coming in here with negative bullshit on a day like today? Seriously, Top. This sounds like you really are a Pensairite. You coming after Siakam. This is something you probably heard Robert say something in the last couple of days about him. You're just probably parroting that shit. Listen, I don't give a fuck about this. Siakam won, and he was a badass last night. I don't care about Monday at this point. They fixed this shit, and that's what I care about. These guys looked at it. If they continue to do it and it was bad, I would, whatever. You want him to take accountability for something that happened on Monday last night? What the fuck? Seriously, you're getting a strike. You're very dubious, bro. You're very dubious. That's the right word for you, dubious. Fiercely saying Otto's presser indicated he was slowly working back to playing following his injury. Darko confirmed it. In due time, he put him back on the floor. I kept asking for Otto to play, but now we understand. I know. There's always deeper meanings and reasons for things that we don't understand with the team. And that's why we shouldn't question Coloco's status right now. That's why we shouldn't be so eager to get Otto out there, because maybe they're working things in a certain way. And we got it illuminated last night. We got the answers about Otto finally, and why he had not played yet until now. It's very, very on purpose that they wanted to hold him out. And we heard it straight from both of their mouths in the interviews last night, Otto and Darko. And it was really his trainer telling him, it was like, okay, we're going to work with this. He's older. And in some ways we want to protect him from getting re-hurt. Well, you got to be smart and take it safely. But yeah, it's going to be really good to have him off the bench for us regularly going forward, hopefully. Knock on wood. Seymour saying, cool cat, everything you say is true. 100 refs tried but failed. Now that's the Raptors basketball I know. Listen, like I said, we know this world isn't fair. We know there's people out there that are actively trying to make it harder for us. That doesn't matter. We're badasses. We're going to do this anyway. That's right. I don't bite saying, Nick the Great, did somebody ask for a nurse? Y'all upgraded from a doctor to a nurse, and this nurse is a doctor. Dr. Nick Nurse. Yeah, you go ahead and feel all your fun, good things about Nick. At some point, it's going to come around and bite you in the ass. You'll find out some of the things that Raptors fans had to deal with Nick Nurse in the 10 years he was around our team. 5 years as an assistant coach, 5 years as a head coach. He has 10 years with our franchise, bro. And he's been with y'all, 3 months? Yeah, you go ahead and enjoy being around Nick Nurse, for sure. The thing I'm going to predict right now, I don't bite, because of your big dummy, Will Smith Frankenstein. You're not going to win a championship ever. Not going to win one, because he will fuck you up. If he's your best player, you will not win a championship. I'm going to tell you that right now. So you might as well let him go to New York. He's just going to hold up Nick until he does. And then the other thing is I'm going to say right now is y'all are never going to win a championship with Nick Nurse. And you can love him and you can be, I'm so proud Nick Nurse is our coach at Philly and I'm so confident in him. I'm so happy with him. But I'm going to predict right now, he's only going to have a championship with Toronto. He won't ever have one with Philly. And that will keep him ensconced as a Toronto sports legend, much more than a Philadelphia sports legend. So there you go. I can see this happening. That in some ways, even if the NBA wants to help y'all win and get Nick Nurse another championship with y'all, I could see it getting fucked up somehow, some way, and it never happening. And that Nick Nurse is a champion with Toronto forever. And that's put in stone right now already. And y'all may never get that. So yeah, I love Nick Nurse, and he is our champion coach. But he's not going to be our only champion coach. We're going to have another one, and I hope it is Mr. Darko. I do. But yeah, we don't. That's what I'm going to say right now. You guys got him. You got him for 3 months. We had him for 10 years. We had him for 10 years. We know him very well. And there's some things about him you're going to find out soon. You're going to find out. G saying, I don't bite. Why do they keep giving us Philly on a back-to-back and travel back-to-backs on top of it? Why are they doing that to us? Is it because they want to gain an advantage for you guys to be able to beat us? That's what it seems like. Yeah, you can go ahead and play Milwaukee, one of the top teams in the East, the night before, and wow, you actually beat them in your home, and now you're going to go to Philly? We have to travel? That's why these guys ran right off the court and ran right to the airport to go straight to Philadelphia for a week-long trip. They're not coming back for a while. They're going to have all these days off in the road, get some good practice, maybe some tourism, hanging out with each other on the road, hopefully staying out of trouble, having good things happen, and getting camaraderie and chemistry up in Texas in the next couple days coming up. Yeah, they're going to be down in Texas. Just don't go mess around with any crazy Texas people down there. That state is kind of a dumpster fire. Let's just put it that way. All right, let's see. David's saying Nick's going to need a fucking nurse after tonight, son. Was that a threat? Oh, my gosh. And I don't bite's looking at G, like laughing. That's funny. Yeah, he knows. He's got a little sly little grin because he knows the schedule makers are helping the Sixers. He knows it. He knows it. He's not upset about it. It's helping him. That's right. Fiercely said, not lame Lillard. Yeah, lame Dillard. Let's call him lame Dillard. I always like doing the flip names. We used to play this game, my ex-wife and I. She was into it for some reason. Potty skipping. Barles Charkley. You just flip the names. Saskal Piakum. Saskal Piakum. Yeah, like that. A.G. Oanobi. Yeah, that doesn't work as well. Body Scarns. Yeah. Lame Dillard. That's right. Jabroni Lames. How about that one? Jabroni Lames. Lame Dillard. Yeah, I like those names. Fiercely saying, we didn't need Dame. His defense sucks. That's right. Maybe need him for the closing and the three-point shooting, and we could have hit that. And he would, honestly, when I was looking at Dame Lillard watching that game last night, he looked unhappy. He looked like sourpuss, and maybe he was second-guessing, dissing the Raptors and looking at what they're doing defensively and stuff. Damn, I need a defensive team around me. This team's so good on defense. What did I do? I shouldn't have hated Canada so much. What a lame Dillard I am. I am a lame Dillard. Onions, baby, onions. Tabatot saying, overall, though, Porter Jr. was excellent and helped direct the game in a key possession. Yeah, Tabatot for sure. The Bucks looked out of sorts. Beasley and Dame on defense was a concern after the trade. I love it. I love that, Tabatot. Yeah, Porter was sound. He veteran presence, settles down that second unit. They look better with him out there. I feel more confident. In some ways, he's just going to help them hold water. In some ways, I don't bite say, are you worried about tonight, G? Why are we worried? What do we have to fucking lose? Everybody expects y'all to win. You have so much more pressure on yourselves than us. Seriously, what are we worried about? Everybody, you're supposed to win. You guys are supposed to be a top team. You got the MVP. You got Maxey, the player of the week. You got Nick Nurse. You're supposed to win. There's no pressure on us. We can come in there and just jack y'all up, and y'all will look bad. If we lose, they're expecting that. So why are we worried? We're not worried in the least. We got everything to gain and nothing to lose. That's right, baby. You should be worried. That's what it should be. You should be worried. Monica's saying the atmosphere was lit last night. I got to give y'all some mad props for everybody who was at Scotiabank Arena last night, all you fans that came down there on Tuesday night, the night after Halloween, in the middle of the week, after a shitty game on Monday, y'all still believed in this team. You came down there and supported them, and you guys got rewarded with a gem of a game. So exciting and fun to watch. You deserved it, Monique. Every single one of y'all that went down to that arena and went to that game, I'm proud of y'all. Because in some ways, the Raptors fans will get turned off from losses. They'll stop coming to the arena. But y'all showed up, and I'm proud of y'all, and y'all deserved it. If y'all went and made the effort to go there, you got a great reward, and I'm so proud of y'all for going there. Seriously, Toronto sports fan will turn that switch off and say, oh, they're going to be bad. Nobody go to the game. Ask the Blue Jays. Ask the Blue Jays. That's right. G saying, Lex, I said they need to go at Dame all game, and Dennis was relentless. His defense is not good at all. Yeah, that was a really good key to the game. And Dennis was looking to get paint touches. So, hey, put a subpar defender on him and let him get things going for everybody. I love it. Troy saying, Raptors the bully, the upsetter, the nightmare, the bad news, the motherfucking NBA. Let's take another one tonight, boys. Troy Henry, I love your tough talk, and I'm about it, man. I'm all about it. Troy, you're getting a dunk. You're getting a dunk for that tough talk. I love it. We're the nightmare. We have nothing to lose. Y'all are supposed to win tonight. Y'all have had how many days of rest? Y'all needed 3 days of rest? We coming in hot and fresh, like we played last night, because we did. And y'all been sitting waiting since Sunday. Let's hope that y'all didn't collect no dust waiting around watching the James Harden trade and your new guys come and show up. That's another thing. Are y'all going to integrate some of y'all's new guys into the game tonight? And will we see Forkin Korkmaz? Yeah, no, the man who nobody needs or wants. I don't know. We'll have to see if you're using some KJ Martin or some Marcus Morris tonight. I don't know if you're going to integrate your new guys tonight. We'll have to see. That could cause folly. That's right. Have new guys who just showed up all of a sudden. They don't know what they're doing. That can cause trouble. That's right. Let's see. Seymour saying, winning is the best development for our young guys. Seeing the ball go in, tight defense. What's not to follow? That's right. More confidence, more learning winning ways. That's right. Those Spurs, were they tanking and not learning winning ways when they were doing the Wemby sweepstakes last year? No. Popovich showed that, look, you saw that dog in Keldon Johnson, the way he took that ball from Kevin Durant. Tell me the Spurs were tanking and learning how to lose on purpose when they got Wemby. No, they weren't. They were playing their asses off, and they're playing their asses off, and they're better because they got that big Frenchman now. That's right. That's right. Let's go. Top of Top saying, Dennis is definitely great value for what we're paying him. When we got him, I was happy because I know he moves the ball and plays better man-to-man defense than Fred at this stage. There's a lot of intangibles with Dennis right now. There's a lot. His YouTube stuff is really great. You can ask Monique and I. We're learning so much about the way he lives his life in the NBA in certain ways. And he gives insight about what's going on with the team on his channel. He's not afraid to talk a little bit about the X's and O's and what needs to happen with the team. And that's just fantastic. And then you add in, like I said, there's a certain level of respect and credibility and aura to him from FIBA this summer. And it really has instilled an utmost confidence in himself. In some ways, he had to be shaky a little bit. He's always believed in himself, but he's bona fide now. He's respected, and he's shown around the world that he can be the top player at one of the biggest tournaments in basketball in the world this summer. There's nothing to hate about this. This man has been fantastic. A home run as a replacement for Fred all around. Cool Cat saying, in my opinion, the keys to our success is defense. Oh, yeah. Fast pace and play through our trio, Pascal, OG, and Scottie. I don't even care about playing through OG. I feel like OG is going to find shit whether he does. In some ways, I don't care if he gets plays called for him. I don't want him to drive. I don't want to do anything. We're finding him in bully ball situations near the basket. We're finding him on catch and shoot threes because we drive and kick. Those are fine. We see him go in and get an offensive rebound and put back. That's fine. Transition, those kind of things. But I don't ever want to see OG getting the ball in a half-court set and trying to be something like Siakam or Scottie would do. I really don't. I think that that's a horrible idea. Nick tried it for many years, and it just doesn't work. So in some ways, I would take OG off that list, and I would say play through Pascal and Scottie primarily. Those two guys, obviously. And we saw Morris Siakam doing what he's comfortable doing last night, but it kind of fit within things. It's almost like he sped up the ISO, like holding the ball too long kind of thing, and made it a little bit quicked up. Like he went into his move a little quicker and not delaying or whatever he does that he did last year. It seems like if he does that where he gets into his isolation moves quicker and initiates them, I'm okay with it. It's just when he holds the ball, he stagnates the pace of the offense by really just holding the ball too long in isolation. That's a problem. So we can pass the ball to him and he can get a little bit more than the 0.5 seconds, like let's say 1.5 seconds, and he can get into his isolation move and he's still dominant and he's doing all the things he does that way. That's fine. I have no problem with him getting an extra second or half second above our 0.5 system, because he actually has to have just a smidge, little bit more time. But he can't be abusive of that and take a whole bunch of the shot clock. He still needs to tighten it up and make it quick, but make it quick and natural so it goes with his natural rhythm with what he does and makes him so successful. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Random Gamer is saying, I heard the Sixers might pursue OG if available. Well, obviously they want him. It could very well be that Nick's pushing from the inside. If you guys can get OG, do it. Just do it. Fuck that. Bobby Webster and Masai, don't let them get OG. They're talking about they want Siakam too. Who gives a fuck? They can talk about who they want, all they want, and want to talk about Random Gamer. Doesn't mean it's reality. They're still dealing with Bobby and Masai, and we know how people feel about that and how they deal with things. You think we're going to just give OG away to y'all after holding him for so many years, like right now? No, you're going to listen. You want to get OG, you better send us Maxey. You fucking think you're going to get OG from us? You're going to get us Maxey. That's the only way you get him, is if you send Maxey the other way. So yeah, you either want Siakam or OG Anunoby, you have to send us Maxey. That's the only thing that will start a talk with us. Nothing else on your team is attractive at all. So if you are wanting to get him, that's the only way. That's the only way. I'm telling you right now. All right, let's see. David's saying he's not available. Exactly. Tom Duke's laughing. Fiercely saying they challenged Scottie, but forget he's not the same as last year. He hits his threes now. That's right. Make them pay for not respecting you, Scott. I love your confidence. I love your swagger. I love your two-way play. That's what's making him so dominant and amazing. He doesn't have to do it by scoring. He can dominate on the defensive end and help us win games. Scottie is a real bona fide number one top player in this league, and he's growing into it right before our eyes right now. His first 2 seasons were orientation, learning the schedule, learning the beats of being an NBA player. And he's learning it, and he's getting to the next level of what he needs to learn. And that's on the court and dominance. And he's getting there. He's getting there closer and closer. That's right. Random Gamer saying, dang, that sucks. Rather have him than Levine, to be honest. Who are you talking about? You rather get OG or than Levine? Yeah, of course you'd rather have OG than Levine. Of course. Seymour saying, nope. OG is a lock. He ain't going nowhere. Yeah, we love our master plumber, and he loves playing for us. Miami Heat Nation asked him this summer, you come play for Miami? He said, no, I'm playing for Toronto. I love Toronto. I don't want to go nowhere else. I don't know. Maybe he loves Nick Nurse. Want to go play for Philly? Probably not. I don't know. But I'm just going to say this. Bobby and Masai are not going to let y'all get him. Now, it may be the whole thing with the extension and free agency. I don't want any kind of bullshit to happen. So Bobby and Masai, take care of OG. You took care of Scott. Now take care of OG. I feel like he should be next priority on top of your list. Siakam, I know he's up there too. We'll have to see. But I think OG is clearly somebody we need to invest for the future and double down and get the extension done with him. Seriously, clearly. Yeah, Randolph's here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Good morning, beloved Raptor Freaks. Most informative gang. What a game. This team has great potential. I hope and am praying that they will continue to grow and implement this good new system. After the game, they talked to Darko about how he felt they played, and he said they could play so much better even, especially on offense. Now, the defense was pretty much almost perfect. That was really the side of the ball that we were absolutely, if it was 100%, it was like maybe 99.5% perfect. And honestly, the offense could use a lot of work. And it is a room where we will improve even better. In some ways, we don't want to totally rely on having to make all of our three-pointers and be so good from three-point range, because we know that is not something we can count on every night. So in some ways, we're just going to have to find good shots and good shooting in different kinds of places. But last night, it was behind the arc, and it was Scottie and Pascal in particular. which is really, really good. Tom Duke's got that master plumber out there with OG. He's got the clamp and the wrench. And that's right. That's what he did. He went to work. And most people won't notice that. But the Raptor Freak family definitely recognizes OG Anunoby as a master plumber, and he can cut the water off on premium players like Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's right. David is getting laughs from Fiercey. Wayne Strainer saying, objectively speaking, listening to the plays Malachi sounded capable. His main job is to facilitate and defend, and the stats demonstrate his assignments. Give him his due. Nick did him bad. Go Malachi. Yeah, I'm happy with what Malachi did last night. That's why I'm not being derisive of him. He played within himself. He may have missed some shots. He may have not, like, to the casual person, they'll be like, yeah, he sucks. I hate him. Get him off our team. But in some ways, he's a placeholder, and he's at least not causing. In some ways, he does cause problems. I don't know. In some ways, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, especially if we're winning. So G saying, sorry, David, I messed you up. Laugh out loud. I deleted by accident. We're not worried. Don't bite. The league continues to spoon feed their favorites. Where did you delete David? I didn't see that. Message retracted. I didn't see you delete his message. It's all good. I know that you didn't mean to do that, G. Nako saying at Random Gamer, unless Maxey's available, I don't think it's happening. I don't think Philly has great assets. Yeah, we're not interested in Jaden Springer. We're not interested in Paul Reed. We're not interested in those kind of players. And, Maxey's the only one we're interested in. And if you're willing to trade Maxey for a OG, well, then we can start talking. Otherwise, we don't want to talk to y'all. Let's see. Seymour's got the on top soon. Salute to Randolph Phillips. I like that. That's cool. I've never seen those emotes used like that. So, Seymour, you're getting a dunk for a creative emoticons. Seymour Pape. Bam. All right, let's see. Seymour saying also, I don't ever want to see Maxey Pad in a Raptors jersey. Well, we differ on this one. I would be very thrilled to have Tyrese Maxey on the Raptors. He is somebody that I think is awesome. I think he's one of the best players in the league, honestly. And that's a Raptor fan saying that about a Sixer. So you have your own personal beliefs about Maxey, but me, nah, I'll be like, I would welcome him in a heartbeat. I don't bite saying, now you're going into Nick Nurse country tonight. Sixers are minus 8.5 tonight, heavy favorites. I'm only 20 minutes from the stadium. I'm thinking about going. Raptor Freak, have you ever come to Philly for a game? No, I haven't. I've barely been to Philadelphia. I've driven through there a couple times because I used to live in Florida, and we'd come to Toronto from there, and we'd drive up. But Philadelphia is not really on the way. I can't really say that I've spent a lot of time in your community. I really don't. I think I've gone up 75 and I go through and I get to like Detroit or Buffalo, but we don't ever get all the way over to Philly in the New York area. So I don't even think I've ever been to Philadelphia, let alone to your arena. So have you been to Toronto? Have you even been to Canada? I would ask that. You might have been to Canada, but I don't know if you've been to a Raptors game either. Yeah, you guys should be heavy favorites. You really should. You guys have a very good team. You have a very good coach, and you have very good top players. But we're ready for the challenge tonight. And in some ways, we like having nothing to lose, being road warriors coming into your aggressive building and trying to do our best to kick your ass and embarrass y'all tonight. We're going to try and do that. Cool Cat saying, I think it was a great move to have Pascal as point guard and Flynn shooting guard as spacer, then Scottie as point guard and Flynn as spacer too. That prevented us from losing the points we accumulated from our starters. Okay. I didn't really read that from it. I mean, once again, I look at the positions differently. I just look at their heights, and it's not necessarily who's being the ball handler and passing the ball. I don't always call the point guard that way. If the forward is passing the ball or dribbling it up the court, that's fine. It's a point forward to me. I still think of them as like Scottie Pippen and not like Dennis Schröder. So it's just a label. It's just a label. But I like what you're saying as far as like Malachi being used more as a spacer than a ball distributor, because in some ways it's the strength in some, but he has to make his threes and make them like respect him. Randolph saying, Lex, it was good to see the team continue the tradition of getting up to play good teams. They looked great and had fun playing together last night. For sure, Randolph. It was a joy. It was a joy. And we're talking about that joy right now. I'm going to give Randolph a dunk just for the hell of it. Yeah, it was joyous, and it was awesome. I don't bite saying, if you ever do, I got a cheesesteak with your name on it. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. And if you come here, I've got a poutine with your name on it. That's right. We'll do a food exchange. poutine for a Philly cheesesteak. See, this is a brotherly love and goodwill Canadian way. It's, we can meet in the middle and just have a nice competitive game tonight. Raptors versus Sixers. May the best team win. And well, I'm excited about the game tonight, guys. And I'm glad we have a Philly contingency in here for our preview today with a couple of Philly fans in here. I appreciate that goodwill. That's the brotherly love y'all are about. And I appreciate that. I don't bite. I really do. A random gamer saying, I don't know, at Nako. We have the Clippers 2028 first round unprotected pick. Clippers are going to suck by then. Might turn into a top 5 pick. What are you talking about, like 5 years from now? That's got a lot. We got to see this experiment with the Clippers, how it's going to come through with these 4 guys they got out there. They're like, I want to make a nickname for them, like the Heatles, because there's 4 of them. It's like a quad at this point. It's really weird. I don't know. We'll see how many of them are suited up each night. About that. Nako's saying Dennis being faster makes him better for our defense than Fred. Also, to Dennis's credit, he's one of the faster guards in the league. Yeah. And he's got really long wingspan for his height. He's listed at 6'1", but I feel like he's taller. That Jack was saying the other night, he felt like that Dennis was bigger than Scoot Henderson. And I was like, what? Like, I mean, maybe height-wise, not size-wise with his arms. But like they're saying, he said that he felt like Dennis was taller than Scoot and that Scoot was shorter than he thought he was. That's very interesting stuff to me. But yeah, Dennis has got long wingspan, and you see how it fits in with all the wingspans at our other positions. And that's part of the reason why we're so difficult to score on right now. Difficult for sure. Top of Top saying, I never blame the refs. Everyone, even when everyone does. I believe in winning games outright and not using refs as an excuse. Refs tried to get the Bucks back in this game. The OG call on Dame's 3 was horrid. Yeah. I mean, listen, this is part of my specialty on this channel. I did the ref report earlier. I told you my odds on what I feel like the refs are for tonight. It's just kind of my creme de la creme. And in some ways, I like your philosophy. I don't want to ever blame the refs for why we lose because I just want to be so good that we just beat them no matter what. But you do have to factor in the factor of what they're doing with manipulation out there, that it does add into whether you win or lose sometimes. The refs can very much steal games from you. They did it on Friday to us. They very much did. I can go back and look at the plays with DeMar's free throws and how he got to the line. Chris did not touch him. And that was a fucked up play. And that very much made the Bulls have a chance to win. We win that game outright if there's no free throws for DeMar, 3 free throws in that situation. We just win. So a phantom call that shouldn't have been called, and then a travel that also happened out there. Yeah, that was really bad refereeing, and it did cost us that game on Friday, straight up. So you can say you never blame the refs, but we can on Friday. But also we can blame that we just didn't fucking close it out and make sure it happened with what we could control. When we should have just cruised to a victory, and the refs made bad calls that directly made us lose that game against Chicago. Let's see. And they called it out, and they said they did, and they admitted it. But we don't get nothing for that. In some ways, we should be 4-1 right now. We should really be 4-1 right now. And the only loss we have so far should be the one to Philly on Saturday. The game against Portland and Chicago, all year long, we're going to look at those 2 games. We're going to say, man, those are the 2 games we should have had. And that we could actually plus our win total for the season. We can keep track of these games this year. And we've got +2 that we should be at in our win losses because there were 2 games we lost that we had no business losing. Yeah, no business losing those games. Cool Cat saying we departed from minus 0.5 offense and played through our wings to hunt mismatches and played with pace. Then only shoot threes when wide open. Yeah, there was some slight adjustments to Darko's 0.5 scheme for sure because they were allowing for a little bit more time to develop situations with mismatches. And I think that was smart of them. Sometimes the middle road is the best. You can't hardline one certain thing. If there's a little bit of good qualities from 2 different philosophies, get in the middle and see if that works. And I think that this is slightly what's happening with the tune-ups and changes to our offense right now in our offensive philosophy. Mugabe saying, good morning, Raptor Freaks. Yeah, that's how it's done. Lex, you see when Darko released Pascal's hand from the handcuffs and Scottie is the guy and he needs Pascal to help him to the next level. They should really be a partnership, and they work really well together in a lot of ways. And we saw it last night. I mean, in some ways, I don't really feel it's fair to say that he released him from the handcuffs because in some ways, that's not really totally like what's happened here. It could be that Siakam's just more comfortable and he hit another level of understanding and fitting in with things. But yeah, I don't think that Darko's trying to hold him back. I know that a lot of people are saying that, or it's just that the system is different than Siakam is used to, and he's got to get used to it. And he showed more used to it last night with a hybrid system. Fiercely saying, was wondering why so many players in street clothes, but remember last year's fiasco and number of games sat out impacting playoff participation. You're talking about our guys in the two ways? Yeah. In some ways we want to save the two ways from using up all their games. They get 50 games. And last year that was an issue with Jeff Doughton Jr. So in some ways, maybe they're just like not dressing Marquise, Javon, or Ron because they want to save those games for later in the season when they might want to utilize them at other times. Maybe they want to get them to the 905 and start playing with the 905 guys first, so they ramp up and get them confidence, and then they start looking at them on the Raptors level also. So we'll see. The way they're handling things is very slow and deliberate, whether it's holding out Chris on the opening night or way that they're dealing with Otto, the same way with the two ways. And those guys not appearing in games yet either. So, all right, let's keep going. Cowboys saying, I strongly, strongly believe we can do this to any team in the NBA. I would never count them out. Here we come, Philly. First of the 5-game win streak. Let's fucking go. That's the thing. You see a poor effort and really just like rolling over and losing against Chicago and Portland. And then you see something like last night where the other team has kind of rolled over and died and you're just kicking so much ass. It gives you hope. And that's what we needed. We just needed a little more hope around Raptors Nation. We got it. And I believe you're right that we can do this to any team in this league. It's just we got to come with the right attitude, the right preparation, the right energy, and come with it. So that's one of the things Siakam said at the game, that him and Scottie purposely talked to each other before the game about coming in and putting their energy into this game to help the Raptors win. That was a huge thing that was a fuck up on Monday against Portland, is we were low in energy and we didn't bring it. Well, we brought it last night and we saw how that was a different thing. Really much, very much a different thing. Let's see. G saying Dennis and Yak's chemistry is growing. Yak did a lot of the dirty work. He was great. I saw glimmers last night of the Yak's European style working with Dennis's European style in the NBA game and really, really working. They were definitely running FIBA shit between Poeltl and Schröder last night. You could tell that was kind of FIBA kind of shit. I'm telling you, you go back and watch the highlights. There's a little bit of like FIBA sets with Dennis looking like FIBA Dennis last night. It was awesome. I love it. It's so good. I want to see more of this. And I love Jakob Poeltl and Dennis Schröder being on our team. I really do. Cool Cat saying Pascal's 3-pointers, 5 of 8. Scottie, 4 of 6. Summer work. Exactly. They put that work in. I told y'all this is coming. I said they're working so hard on their threes. What if they just start shooting threes better? Will this solve some of the offensive system problems the last couple of years for the Raptors? Yes, yes, and yes. And you saw it last night. It happened in reality. They came and they shot well, and it made a huge difference. It made a huge difference. She's also saying, I hope front office keeps our trio, Pascal, OG, Scottie, and Dennis. This is our chip trio when Scottie is consistently elite, homegrown talent developed. I really, truly believe that right now the Raptors have one of the best starting fives in the NBA, hands down. That they won't talk about them. They won't give them any shine. But pound for pound, the 5 that we're starting right now are one of the best starting lineups in the NBA right now. There's no flashiness in some ways. Maybe with Scott, a little bit. But people like Jakob and Dennis, they're not going to get the shine that they deserve. But in some ways, the reality is right now, the Raptors have one of the best starting fives in the whole entire league right now. And I'll say it again. That's right. That's right. Randolph's saying, Lex, it's clear Scottie has no respect for Nurse. Look at his reaction to Adrian. I win tonight against Nurse, and the Sixers would be a good closer for Scottie. I don't know. The whole conversation with Scott at the podium the other night about Nick Nurse and not talking to him or something like that, it's been weird. And a lot of people are making light of this, seeing him going and talking to Griff last night. I don't know. I think this is just something where it was in the shuffle. It just didn't get to the thing. And I think you're reading into things too much. I've heard Nick, I've heard Scott say nice things about Nick Nurse since he left. So in some ways it's not, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I wouldn't read into this too much, Randolph. I would just say that Now, if we see Scottie come with a new fresh energy to really beat the Sixers tonight, partly because he has gumption against Nick, then maybe, yeah. But he didn't have it on Saturday in some ways. I wish, at least not enough. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll be paying attention to this. I will tonight. I will be. Cool Cat saying Yak was better on his feet. He had to be under the weather still after coming back from being sick. Okay. Jakob did look way, way better. Now, the game on Saturday looked bad because he was playing Embiid. Embiid just destroyed him, and Embiid is just really difficult to handle. On Monday, I thought he was good. It's just that we weren't good overall. I thought that Jakob was okay in the Portland Trailblazers game. It's just we weren't good overall. The first couple games, actually, he's been really good. So, I don't know. I get what you're trying to say because he was sick in the preseason, and he came back. But he's shown really good stuff earlier than last night. And I don't think it's just last night that he's been okay for a while. It's just that he was playing Embiid, and Embiid's going to make people look bad. And he did on Saturday. He made him look bad on Saturday. But I thought he played really good against Vucevic on Friday night, even though we lost. And even though Ayton did do some dominating on Monday on the boards, I don't know. That one may be a little bit, yeah, I guess I kind of see what you're saying. Most saying last night was a huge boost for this wild road trip. That's right. Get out of Toronto, get on the road, and get camaraderie and feel good because you left on a win. And I love it. I love it. It's great. Seymour saying, Cowboy, beware. Some fans want us to lose and develop the young guys when we can have what we saw last night. I believe they can do this every night, but some people think I'm aiming too high. Well, once again, just like Militant Mindset, who was here last week, anybody who has loser talk or has a loser mentality or encouraging our team to lose on purpose, they are people we just need to not listen to. There are people that should be discredited and just said, you know what? I don't think you're a credible source of good basketball advice or knowledge because you're telling us to lose on purpose. And that is a really horrible strategy and philosophy to have. In some ways, I worry that these people that are saying this are just like the Boston fans that put out all the racist Pascal shit. Why don't y'all ever realize that sometimes some of these accounts are not actually Raptor fans and they're telling us to lose on purpose, just like we're telling the Sixers to destroy their franchise and like start rebuilding. Yeah, trade Embiid. Get rid of Embiid because he's going to leave anyway. I'm telling y'all, it's gaslighting. And they gaslight us from the inside. So there's some of those people, if they're fans, first of all, they are legitimate Toronto fans and profess they are. No, I'm not a fan of another team. But why are you a loser talk? Why are you talking like a loser then? Because I don't have time for that. So any kind of loser talk, just get the fuck out. And I'll say, yeah, you're either a fan of another team or you're a loser mentality in your own life. And I don't have time for those people, even if they quote unquote are Raptors fans. Sometimes I feel like they're Sixers fans just trying to tell us start losing on purpose because they want us to. Shaq Lindsay saying Jakob needs play with some intensity as he did last night. I hope the ref calls Joel on his moving picks to free up Maxey. Well, watch out for that, Shaq Lindsay. You know, I don't have problems with Jakob's intensity or his energy. He brings it every night. It's just some nights he's awkward and some nights the matchup is very difficult. And he's had some difficult centers to deal with. But hey, the option of having Jakob out there and dealing with these centers than, Chris or Precious or Thaddeus is way better that Jakob is out there dealing with Ayton and Embiid and Vucevic. So it's like, come on. It's like, listen, he may be goofy and a little awkward and clumsy at times, but some nights his hands and his feet are going to look real good too. But some nights he may be a little off. And that's like any player. It's just like Gary with his shot, maybe a little off. Well, Jakob may be clumsy sometimes. It's just what I'm saying. Nameless is saying, bro, we didn't cheer Adrian Griffin this time. The other team's head coach, and we won. Go figure. That is an interesting thing. Like when they did the tribute, I'm like, nobody is cheering him. They're acting like it's just like one of these other Canadian guys that are on another team. And they're like, oh, welcome, Canadian player, Trey Lyles of the Sacramento Kings, Canadian Trey Lyles. And like, nobody cares. Like, that's how they treated Griff last night. And in some ways that infuriated me about our crowd, not giving him due respect for his part in our championship and being a part of our Raptors team. That made me mad in some ways. But in some ways, I see what your point is. We don't do that, and we beat them. Stop honoring people during games is what Nameless is saying. G saying the Grizzlies are 0-5. No Adams, no Dillon, no Darko, no Ja. Lots of, figuring things out. Yeah, Grizzlies not starting right. That's right. Nameless is saying if we would have started cheering for him, we would have lost. You really believe that? I don't believe that. Even if we cheered him just a little bit, it's not going to be a big deal. He was pissed, though. In some ways, I would argue this, Nameless. It's like you're not going to cheer him. You give the coach more gumption to be mad and want to come back and get you. Maybe we infuriated him. At some point, he got really mad at the refs. And they're like, Jack was saying, yeah, we don't see Adrian like this very often because he's the assistant coach before. And he didn't have a lot of chances to get into it with the refs. Well, we saw him getting angry, Adrian, with the refs for a little bit last night. And he's not the same nice, normal guy like he is just as an assistant coach when he gets riled up with the referees. I think that in some ways that was dangerous, that you poke this bear and say, oh, yeah, we don't respect your part in the championship team. Maybe he gets he tells his team this. He could have easily gone at the halftime and said, did you see how they ignored me in honoring my championship part in this championship team here in Toronto? And then all of a sudden Giannis and Dame were like, yeah, fuck that. And they get mad and they come out and kill us. But that didn't happen. There's a disconnect there. And that makes me very worried for Coach Griffin in some ways. Shaq Lindsay saying, please, Darko, don't put Flynn on Maxey. I don't know if that'll happen. We'll see. In some ways, I totally get what you're saying. Seymour saying, Nameless, you might be right. See, he's getting behind that theory about not cheering Adrian Griffin last night. Fiercely saying, I'm so bummed I can't make it to the Raptor-Freak meetup. Well, there'll be many more to come in the years to come. I mean, if you can't come to that one, can you come to Real Sports on the night before or the day after? Because we'll be there too. There's going to be like 3 meetups in a row. That Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That one on Thursday, though, is the one to make it easy for people that don't want to go get in the middle of Union Station and the Scotiabank Arena crowd. Let's see. Cowboy's saying they're always next time, Fiercey. Keep your head up. Bam. That's right, Cowboy. That's right. Tom Duke's saying, Mo, Garrett, is that Otto? You got Otto Porter in the emotes this morning. Otto showed up finally. Nice, Tom. I love it. And he's saying, Wooly Bully used to be my jam for karaoke. Sounds great. What time on Thursday, November the 16th? Tommy, you and I will be there at 6 p.m. at the Real Jerk, and we'll get in the karaoke line. You're going to sing Wooly Bully. All right. I love it. Gotta do, daddy, and a thing to do. Wooly Bully. Oh, this will be fun. This will be fun. I'll take requests. I'll sing some songs in people's honor if they're not there in absentia. Seymour saying it for Fiercey. Dunk for Fiercey. All right, we'll give a dunk for Fiercey. La, 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 la. Cowboy saying one more from me. You want to give her one too? All right, Fiercey's getting loaded up. I don't know how she did that. She caught one ball in one hand from Seymour, the other ball in the other hand from Bradley, and she did the two-handed dunk right after each other. Yeah, that's athleticism. That's right. MSJ saying, okay, at the RJ on the 16th. Cool. Thanks, as I will take that Friday off. All right, there you go. 16th is a Thursday. Real Jerk, Carlaw, and Gerard. That's right. If you don't know where that location is, you can find it. You can get to it on the Gerard streetcar. I believe, I don't know what subway station is the easiest to get to that location. But yeah, it's not a horrible, hard place to get to. And it's kind of central, It's close to where Tom's staying in his hotel and also kind of close to my house. So it makes it easy for us to get there early and be there to receive all of y'all. And it's a kind of thing where I might just say, hey, let's just hang out here till like midnight and hang out the whole night. So if you can't make it right at 6, you have to work or something like that, you can probably still make it and come down there and hang out with us. We might make it a whole night thing. So let's see. Shaq Lindsay is saying Giannis should have waited for his extension. Dame is getting old, and they gave up a lot of draft cap to get Drew, only to swap Dame. Giannis and Dame's salary take up 75% of the cap. No draft, no cap. This is interesting. And I think you're right. I think that the timing of his extension, he was like, okay, things are good. Maybe he went too quick. And I think you're right, Shaq Lindsay. He may regret getting his extension done already this year. He very much might. They're in trouble because they're really handcuffed with what they can do to build around this team with those two guys together on this team. Yeah, I'm with you on a lot of what you just said right there. This may not be the best thing that happened for the Bucks, and we'll see it in their record at the end of the year compared to what they were with Budenholzer and Drew Holiday and Grayson Allen last year. There's a lot of second guessing the Bucks teams and fans are going to do this year. I have a feeling. Let's see. Shaq saying, if OG, Scottie, and Pascal can play like this, then build around them. There's enough money to sign all of them, with the exception of Gary Trent. Well, this is how we figured it out. It's like panning for gold. You go like an old prospector to the California Gold Rush, and you put that pan in the water of the river, and you sift through the sediment and the dirt, and you're trying to find that little golden nugget in there. Some of it is just crap. Just let it fall through and go away. But you keep those good nuggets that you find when you're prospecting for gold. And in some ways, whoever's names and whoever's the gold, we want to keep those nuggets and let the rest just kind of go with the silt down the river. That's right. Evelyn's saying, freaks, would you please hit the like button? Thank you. Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Shaq Lindsay saying, Gradey has an excuse. What's Gary's excuse? Well, like I said, Shaq, we're not going after anybody negatively today. We're going to give everybody a pass after such a feel-good win. So I will say this once again, Gary Trent Jr. is currently slumping. And this happens with shooters. We've seen Gary go through these before. So we know he could snap out of it as soon as tonight. So let's encourage Gary with positive thoughts and vibes to get his shot back online, and so that he'll play really well for us. So we know this is par for the course with him. He's going to have some downswings in his output and how he's doing. And hopefully he'll upswing back to that other level. Because when he gets that upswing again, you know just how potent and how prolific he can be as a scorer. So let's just wait for that, Shaq Lindsay, please. Kareem saying, I search high, I search low, move mountains, I check the tides of the deep waters. At this point, we need to pray to the basketball ball gods. That's kind of duplicitous. And ask to relocate Gary Trent Jr. and witness his resurrection. Woo, that's right. That's what I'm saying. You know, he's got a little bit of a Jesus look to him. Maybe he needs to, I know, maybe that's sacrilegious what I just said. But maybe he does need to have a new thing happen with him. I think he's going to be fine. Don't give up on Gary. He's got some things to do. Now, what are we to lose? He's in a contract year. He either succeeds and we want to keep him. Either he doesn't, and then, well, easier decisions. So in some ways, we're in a good place. Cool Cat saying, I am mad I didn't get the tickets to go to the game. I really wanted to see Adrian's first game back. So you didn't make it. You were talking about going yesterday, but then you didn't end up going, Cool Cat. It's all good. It's all good. There's always going to be sometimes it just doesn't work out. And you got to watch the game and it happened. That's what matters. MSJ saying, I like this road trip. They will find a gym somewhere, practice it, hang out, play tough teams early, and know what the plus minus are for this team, that there really is a new team. It will pay off. That is something that Jack and Matt talked about at the end of the broadcast. The camaraderie that comes from an early road trip like this can be really good for chemistry and gelling and us against the world kind of stuff. We're going to Philly tonight, Wells Fargo, very aggressive, hostile environment. It bonds players on the road. And then, you know, we got a lot of days off in between games. I could see stuff like, I don't know, Darko doing some fun things and activities and practices away in Texas with the players. Who knows? Maybe they go and do some fun team trips or activities, going to visit something or doing things. I don't know. We'll find out. Hopefully Open Gym will tell us and show us what's happening with them on the road. I'm sure we will. If not, Dennis will tell us on his channel. So we'll have to see what they're doing. The camaraderie is awesome. In fact, let's do the Instagram check really fast as we're 2.5 hours in. Grady Dick has got Stranger Things Day on blast on his Instagram. Return to the Stranger, and it says 11:06. So I'm guessing it's going to be on November the 6th. Is a new Stranger Things coming out, y'all? I don't know. I'm not a hip young cat. I don't know what's going on with that. Monica's got the intro with Kia Nurse and the ladies of Canada on her Instagram right now. I love it. Team Canada with Raptors basketball in conjunction. Canada's women's team. That's awesome. Chris Boucher in the ad too. That's so beautiful. Matt Devlin's got the same ad on his Instagram. Matt Devlin and Monique are twinning on Instagram right now. And he's also got the highlight of OG in transition, throwing it down on the Milwaukee Bucks. I love it. Pascal showing his fit coming into the game last night, wearing that weird blue, Maple Leafs kind of hoodie. It said something different, Drew on there, I guess. I don't know where that hoodie's from. In some ways, I'm like, man, don't wear Leaf stuff, Siakam, but you had a good game, so I can't be too mad. There's a highlight of him getting a between the legs pass off the backboard before the game from one of the coaches, and he's dunking it down. There he is with a CFL player from the Argonauts. In the picture, there's a lob from Malachi up to Siakam in transition, dunking it down. It's really good stuff, good highlights. And there he is after the game. They gave him a chain, a gold chain, a Raptors emblem. It's kind of similar to what I gave to Granny Evelyn at the meet and greet this summer. It's a Raptors symbol, and he's like, "You're like that, Pascal." Precious celebrating him, and also Dennis. I love to see this camaraderie between the guys. Precious is not playing right now; he's hurt, but he's putting Pascal on blast, and he's saying, "You're like that, Siakam." That's such good supportive kind of energy, and I love seeing it around our team. Thad Young, of course, reform logistics. If you need logistics and transport solutions, Thad Young's got your solutions. Dennis has a ton of Instagram stories. I don't know if I'm going to go over all of them. First, we got the family on Halloween. We see Junior doing the freeze, and there's a little Bubba as a pumpkin, and then Amalia is Elsa as a princess. Then, yeah, I love the Batman costume. Junior Schröder, good stuff. Those kids are so cute, and I hope they had a fantastic time. They had quite the haul of candy that they were giving out. There was so much candy at the Schroeder house, and Ellen was dressed as a vampire. She had red contact lenses in, but she couldn't get the fangs to stay in, so she didn't feel like a complete vampire without her teeth. That's kind of funny. And Dennis was celebrating game day with his 17 in the jersey coming into the game, and him coming in the game. He was smiling before the game last night. Just good stuff. I love seeing Dennis having such a huge impact on our team, and then seeing his social media makes me so happy too. Yeah, such good stuff. And he's got Siakam on blast with the chain in the locker room also. Good vibes. Koloko is putting on blast the DLL effect. I'm not even sure what that means. What are you talking about, the DLL effect, Christian? I don't know what that is. All right, there's your Raptors Instagram check. Good vibes, good things. Siakam with a nice chain on after the game last night. That was awesome. All right, let's see what else y'all are saying. It's Carlo JS is here. Raptor Freak Carlo JS. Morning, fellow freaks. So we get the first part done back of the back-to-back wins. It looks like it's up to the Raptors Freak community to lift the Raptors Nation up to the win. That's right. The buoyancy of our positivity is helping to float the Raptors Nation in a positive way overall, with all the negative ninnies and stupid fucking Twitter fucks and their Reddit bullshit and their fucking idiots. Even our writers are all negative and talking about doomsday for the Raptors. Meanwhile, the doomsday, it can be put on hold because the Raptors are taking control of their destiny themselves and writing their own story instead of letting those stupid ass writers for TSN and Sportsnet write their elements of what they think is going to fucking happen. Everybody who's been making negative Raptors content this week, ooh, how do you feel about it after last night is what I'm going to say right now. So pause, please. Next time you want to make something on YouTube that's negative and slagging on the Raptors, you may want to wait until you see how they do that night, because they might be kicking some ass on a top team, and you may look stupid as fuck once your piece comes out. So yeah, pause on the negative content, y'all, because y'all be looking stupid when it comes out and you see the team play like they did last night. That's right. That's right. Nameless is saying that the Bucks actually made their free throws. It certainly would have mattered. You know, they weren't bad on their free throws. It's not like they were so like horrible on their free throws. They shot 74% from their free throws. So in some ways, I get it. But even if they made 10 of the 10 missed free throws, that's only 121 points. They still lose by 9. So even if they made every single free throw the referees gave them, they still lose by 9. That's the math of it. That's it right there. Cool Cat saying, what date is the Real Jerk Raptor Freak meetup? The 16th of November, 2 weeks from today, is the meetup. 6 p.m. is when Tom and I will be there. Comment anytime in the evening. Karaoke and good jerk wings, patties. They have such good food at the Real Jerk. It's a locally owned, black-owned business also, and I like to support locally owned and not the big corporate chains. So we're going down to the Real Jerk. That's where we'll be, 6 p.m. It's the same Real Jerk that Drake and Rihanna did their video in. It's such a great location. And there will be, it's a karaoke night, I believe. Thursday nights is karaoke there, I believe. So we'll go there then. Shaq Lindsay saying, Gary Trent is way too streaky. His shooting percentage matches up with the amount of games he shows up. 1 for 6. Yeah, see, I'm going to give you a strike. You're being unnecessarily negative on a day that we have no reason to be negative. There really isn't no reason. That's right. Nameless saying it didn't really matter. Yeah, the free throws didn't really matter. Cool Cat saying, I will show up at the meetup. Awesome, Cool Cat. Yeah, that's an awesome restaurant, and it'll be fun. Tom will be there. Me and Tom will be there for sure. And maybe Isaac Campbell will be there also with us, and other people too. We'll have to see. Tom Duke is saying, right on, Cat. November 16th, 6 p.m. Real Jerk. It's been called out, and we're doing it. Chris will be there too. I can tolerate Flynn if he doesn't score, but just stay solid. Bring the ball up the court and doesn't turn it over. As for Gary, he looks fat. It looks like he needs to drop 10 pounds. I always feel like he's too slender. I don't see him as being like too fat. That seems weird to me. That seems like a weird take, Chris. Yeah, I'm okay with Flynn and the way you described him too. If he's just solid and he's not causing mistakes, even if he's not taking shots, if he's open and he needs to make them. But otherwise, like if he's getting assists, if he's playing good defense, he's getting some steals, maybe he's even getting in there and getting some rebounds, he can be useful. In some ways, we got him. We might as well get what we get out of him. But we should be looking for alternatives and upgrades also, front office. Seriously, we should be. In some ways, this is an area where we could get better as a team just by getting somebody better in that position on the roster and doing certain things. I'm not saying get rid of Malachi. Maybe he needs to just go to the end of the bench and be the very third point guard. Maybe somebody like Marquee gets graduated up and he becomes actually our backup point guard because he's doing more better things for us. That's a long shot, but it is possible. And maybe Freeman Liberty. I don't know. Let's see. All right, let's see. MSJ saying also, I will bring the schooner I got, Tom, and pineapple hot sauce for whomever. I have a few jars left. There you go. He's bringing gifts. A gift for Tommy. I love it, Chris. It'll be awesome. We're going to add a new Mug Brother with you guys. Bradley, you got to get down there too. So we're in full Mug Brother strength. And y'all can take your mugs outside because they allow people to drink on the patio at the Real Jerk. But don't take them across the street to the grocery store or anything. Or like go over to the dog park, all right? Just keep them on the property at the Real Jerk. Yeah, please, Mug Brothers. All right, Nameless is saying if the Bucks made their free throws, the refs would have done their part and supplemented them. But Milwaukee had to make it just a little closer for let them do their thing is what happened. Yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Let's not do this. Let's not do this. Everything could be different in different ways. Everything is just how it happened. And we're just going to go by that. How about that? Fiercely saying, thank you, Cowboy. Yeah, there you go, Hart. Shaq Lindsay saying, Flynn, how do you play less than 10 minutes a game and average 3 turnovers a night? Yeah, once again, we're not slagging Malachi and Gary. We're giving them passes tonight. All right. MSJ saying at Shaq Lindsay, you suck. That is how. Not Shaq Lindsay, but Malachi is who he means. Name is saying, if the Bucks could even bring it to 10, the refs would have taken over and done their thing. I don't believe that. I really don't believe that. That ref crew was an okay ref crew. They're actually, the crazy thing is, the last 3 ref crews have all been favorable for the Raptors. We have really good winning percentages with all these ref crews recently, including tonight. We have a good winning percentage with the ref crew for tonight, last night, and for Portland. Portland, we left food on the table. We should have just won that game. The refs were even helping us in that Portland game. But the game last night, sure, maybe the refs were not totally with us, but they weren't totally against us either. I really saw them as even last night. Y'all can say the refs were like totally against us last night, but I don't agree. I think that it was pretty even. They were doing a good job. I won't slag on the refs. In fact, in some ways, I want to reserve our criticism for the refs because we're taking the approach of Darko this year. Darko's a more kind of benevolent coach towards the refs. And in some ways, I won't go in the direction of our coach. Now, Nick, he had problems with them, so we went after him last year. This year, let's try and be friends with the refs. Seriously. Because it may be the way that Darko's approaching it, and we want to mirror him. So I'm going to be only criticizing the refs. There absolutely were a problem, and they were on Friday for sure. But last night, I won't say they were. That's a little bit of a stretch to me. Seriously. Let's see. Let's now see. David disagrees with me. I agree, Nameless. The referees are absolutely useless. Seriously, they get paid $250,000 at least, and they can't do their jobs. These fuckers should get fired with one wrong whistle. They never have any refs. The refs are going to make mistakes. They're human. It's just that the way you know when the refs are doing a good job is if both fan bases are mad at them. That's when you know they're doing a good job, because both teams feel like they did a shitty job against them. It's very rarely they can please anyone. Trust me, let alone both sides. So, in some ways, if both sides are upset or saying the refs were crooked, then they must have did a good job. That's what I was saying. They was saying it's the 1919 World Series all over again. Okay, shoeless Joe Jackson. All right now. Fusey saying, I saw Darko embracing Malachi in the fourth quarter after a nice pass to Pascal leading to a three. He seems to believe in him and wants to unlock his potential. That's what I'm saying. Let's believe in Darko's development track history and see if he can get a new level out of Malachi. It's too early to just give up on it. And he's obviously committed to allowing Malachi, at least while the front office still has him here, to grow into this. And yes, this unconditional support and love of our coach towards our players may be a very new flavor compared to what a coach did last year. And in some ways, maybe we'll see if we get more from sugar than salt as far as with our coach, with a guy like Malachi. We'll have to see. Cowboys saying Philly cheesesteaks and Toronto style. We got curry, jerk, halal, and extra spicy pepper. Dinner is at 7. Don't be late. Darko said, let's go. That's right. Philly cheesesteak. You bring us some Philly cheesesteaks. I don't bite. I'll bite into them. Yum, nom, nom. Philly cheesesteak. Yummy. G saying, someone in the media asked Giannis, how did OG slow you down? And he kept answering, I don't know. And he looked defeated. Damn. How did OG slow you down? I don't know. He's a plumber. He knows your plans and where the pipes are to turn them off. Let's see. Monique is saying Dennis assists this early. Wow. Yeah, it's really good establishing. As much as I was saying that Jakob establishing paint presence and protecting our paint and then getting stuff down low helps open up our outside game. Dennis helps open our game up by getting assists early. We've seen a trend that he's very concertedly getting everybody involved right away. Like we see our players get into double digits in the first half, all 5 starters. We see each one of the guys get baskets very early in the game. The point guard's job is to get other people in the game involved. And Dennis is hitting it out of the park by getting assists so early. Like they keep talking about, he's got 6 assists in the first quarter. And that's brilliant. And that's amazing. And that's a huge way to start agitating our offense to being really good and having good things happen. Set guys up, get them involved, get them integrated into scoring for the night. That's the point guard's job. I was crying out for this all last season. Fred did not do this correctly, getting other people involved in the game. And Dennis does this. This is a very huge strength that Dennis has over Fred, is that he gets other people engaged and involved in the game and going. And that's that early assist stuff we're seeing, Monique, so far in Dennis's early Raptors career. It's so good, so good. Cowboys saying maybe JFL can help slow down Maxey tonight. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Maxey, in some ways, I want to say this. Maxey and Embiid, I will bet you money they will not play as well as they did on Saturday tonight. They played almost perfect on Saturday night here in Toronto. I saw it with my own 2 eyes in the arena. I don't think they're going to be as good as they were the other night. They were so good and perfect the other night. It'd be tough to keep that level of perfection, especially if our Raptors are playing more together and smarter on defense like they did last night. So that may be a big difference between the Saturday game with Philly and tonight, is that we may not see Joel so successful around the basket. We may not see Maxey hitting all of his threes. I'm really going to predict that right now. I'm hoping for it. That's a good way that we can possibly win if these guys are not as solid as they were on Saturday. Carl's saying, good morning, Raptor Freaks. Good morning to Carl Otts. I love you, Carl. And I hope that things are great in Atlanta. I hope that Harry's winning his baseball games, Ansley's smiling, and everything is good down with the Otts family in Atlanta. I love you guys so much. Tom Duke saying, let's go, brother Carl. That's right. Putting me on blast. My crazy face with my, Tom Duke's got that Raptor passion going, burning in his heart. Carlos saying, told you, Lex, we're going to have back-to-back wins. I love you, Carlo JS. You going to predict us to win tonight, too? Ooh, I love you. I told y'all 2 days ago, it's like, what if we win one of these 2 games? Well, what if we win both these games? Is what I'm saying now. Now that we won the first one and Carlo JS is on the same page. Talk it out, Carlo JS. You go, man. You go. Stargate is here. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Good morning to you, Stargate. Always happy to see you here. Kareem saying Dennis is such a badass right now. Can you imagine when he goes into superhero mode and puts his racing stripe in his hair? He will be unstoppable. I think the racing stripe not being there is a symbol of his maturity. In some ways, he doesn't need that. He won't put that racing stripe in his hair this year. I don't think he will. In some ways, that signifies the old him. And the new him is a different guy, the guy who came from the south of Asia this summer and kicked so much ass that he's just a new swagger and new person. It's like a level of maturity and just leveling up in your life that he's at right now. He's bona fide, and I love it so much. He is such a badass right now, Kareem. That is exact right words. Trevor J saying, let's make Nick Nurse do the butthole face tonight. Wow, we beat them down. Trevor J, you're getting a dunk for bringing up butthole face on a day that we're going to play Nick Nurse. Trevor J's getting a dunk for putting the butthole face in the chat with the butthole emote. Yeah, we didn't see Nick Nurse go, oh, whoa, butthole face, oh, butthole, oh. David Saborin saying, let's dummy Nick Nurse. Fuck that guy. Yeah, David don't mince words. He's just saying what he means and what he says. Fiercely saying Dennis has no fear. Yeah, no fear for Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder, how much bigger is that guy? He's scary looking. He don't give a fuck. What are you fucking going to do, Jay Crowder? You going to hit me? See what happens. That's right. I love that. Stand up to them. Don't be a punk. And don't let them get away with that shit either. Carlos saying, how do you guys feel if we sign Dennis long term? I'd be great with it. He's on a multi-year contract already. So it's not like he's just here for 1 year and he's gone. He's going to be on our team next year under contract also. So it's good. It's just damn good. It's a really good fit. And I love having these guys that speak German on our team. I'm telling you right now, Jakob and Dennis are fantastic for our team in all kinds of ways. Cowboys saying by 9 plus, so not by 9 plus tonight. That's what you're saying. We're going to beat them by 9. Okay, Cowboy, I'll take that order. Where's the pen? The red pen. What are you talking about? The pen? This pen? I got this purple pen that I'm using to write the strikes down on right now, or the dunks. Let's see. Cool Cat saying NBA schedule deemed us a garbage team. We'll show them once again. The vultures are circling for Pascal and OG. Nope. Y'all may want them. That's what they're speculating. Keep an eye on Toronto. If they struggle this year, they might want to unload one of their superstars. We need to watch them and see if they're ready to unload. Might be ready to time to rebuild for the Raptors. I don't know. It may be too soon for you to think that. We'll see. Stargate saying things that have gone over some people's heads about last night. Number one, as I said before, Darko will change the scheme, and he did last night. Number two, they were hunting the switch off for Dame last night. Laugh out loud. There you go, Stargate. Good points. Yeah. David's saying, where is the real jerk? It is at Carlaw and Gerard. It is up over near where I live, over here. It's Tom is going to be staying over in Corktown, kind of over there, Regent Park. And we're going to just make it somewhere simple, kind of in between. It's a convenient place for me. I really like the establishment. It's locally owned and not a big chain. And I want our money to go there. And the prices are really great. And it's a karaoke night. So it's Carlaw and Gerard. You can get to it by going to the College Station or whatchamacallit, whatever you get to the College streetcar. You get on the College streetcar and you just go east, you will get to the Real Jerk. And that's where we'll be, David. I hope you guys can come. Seriously, I love having you guys around for these kind of things. You guys are the best. You're a big part of being at these things. And I hope that the Saborans are there. Stargate saying, we figured out Dame was the weak link on defense and exploited it. Yeah, and Beasley too. Beasley was a little bit of that too. Carlos saying, this is why the Raptors are not just getting any shooters. Looks like a player like Beasley. He's fucking deadly, but he can't defend for shit. That's right. You got to have both sides of the ball. In some ways, defense is very important for our team. We built it with athleticism and defense. And sure, the shooting has not looked good. But we really do have a philosophy that we can take players like Siakam and Barnes and turn them into shooters over time. That's the thing. When they drafted Scottie, the big knock was, well, he can't shoot. Well, he's trying to fix that one weakness on his game, and that is shooting. And he's looking way more like he can shoot at this point. Let's see. Seymour is saying truly missing Logical and Raymond Jacob, Raptor Freaks fam. Yeah, I miss those guys for sure. Raymond Jacob's watching us. He's still a part of this channel. He's lurking. And we love you, Raymond. But he'll show up. He might come to the meet and greet. So Seymour, if you, oh yeah, you're out west. You're not in Toronto. But I'll bet you Raymond Jacob, even though he doesn't talk in the chat, he may show up at the Real Jerk next and 2 weeks from tonight. So I could see Raymond showing up for that. He's a part of our meet and greet crew that always shows up. So hopefully Raymond will be there. And Mike, man, I don't know what's going on with you, bro. Whatever's happening with you in your life, I hope you're just at peace and you're happy and you're okay. I know that you may be going through stuff, and that may be part of the reason why you cannot put your attention on Raptors related things like this channel or your channel. And I just hope you're okay. We just want Mike to be all right. That's the only thing we care about with Logical Raptors Fanatic. Cowboy's saying, real jerk, let's go. He'll try and make it. I know you'll probably make it, Cowboy. If I know you, bring Sasanya, bring the little guy down, whoever, bring them all down, bring the whole family. If you're not in Alberta at that time, please come and meet Tom and everybody else. Cool Cat saying, Gary goes in and out of his shooting. His dad will visit him and fix the kinks, physical and mental. That's true. Gary Trent Sr. might just need to have a talk with him and say, son, JR, you know what you're doing. You need to do this. You need to do that. And in some ways, you need to do this because this team is changing and you need to have your place in it. You know, that kind of talk. Cowboy saying, true. Where is Logical? Yeah, where is Mike? I don't know. Somebody check on him again. Maybe see if he'll come back around. Maybe he doesn't want to go through the roller coaster right now. Maybe he has enough roller coasters in his real life and he can't handle the Raptors roller coaster at the same time. I get that. Carlo JS saying, what time and date for the meet and greet? I'm here in Scarborough. Well, this is actually pretty easy for you to get down to. Carlar and Gerard in East York, you know, where that is, that's a real jerk. It's very famous. It's the one where they had in the Drake video. So yes, Carlo, definitely come down there and hang out with us. It'll be karaoke night. We'll eat some good food and we'll just have a Raptor Freak family camaraderie and good times. You can come meet me in person, Carlo, and I can put a name to the face or a face to the name. That'd be cool. Seymour saying, Cowboy, grab some of that jerk sauce for me. I'll buy it off you. See, if you're going out to Alberta, he wants you to get that real jerk sauce because he misses it. He wants you to bring it out to him out in Alberta. They probably don't have the right spice out there. It's probably right. Mugarbe's saying, Lex, there's a reason for how they schedule us back to back with them, a top team. They're hoping we lose, so Masai can't trade Pascal or OG once the NBA bets Pascal and OG out of Toronto start losing. Well, yeah, we know this, Mugarbe. That's why we are going to have to be badasses and be a better and above all this. Yeah, this is a scheduled loss they're trying to give us tonight. Well, let's not go along with the plan. Let's kind of usurp it and go different and make it happen in a different way. Fiercey is saying, Bobby Masai, thank you. Thank you for Scottie. Thank you for Dennis. Thank you for Darko. Seriously, I'm really happy with Darko. I've seen adjustments from Monday that made me pleased last night, that made me be like, okay, in some ways, this is just a learning curve for him as a head coach, and he's going to have to make these adjustments and figure it out. Name is saying we need to buck the trend and go ahead and win tonight. Anyway, that's right. I love the dad joke of the buck in there. Nameless, you're getting a dunk. Dad jokes are shamelessly nameless. You get dunks for dad jokes. Let's just put it that way. Fiercey's got a lineup out there of Otto, Jakob, Pascal, OG, Scottie, Dennis, Darko, and Gradey. Love it. Stargate is saying after that comment, and cut it off, please. I got like 15 minutes, still 3 hours. All right, let's see. Where was I? That was a lineup that I just saw. I gotta make sure. Yeah, y'all really went long. I definitely need to cut off now. I don't want to do 4 hours, even though it kind of warrants 4 hours because there's two things going on. Lex, you're right. Matt Devlin is a bit off this season. He's making a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes with his calls. I think he's just a little loopy from pain pills. You know, he's still in a lot of pain. I've seen him walking around and he's hobbling because of his injury from this summer. He really was hurt badly. Like it was a really serious injury, and he was laid out for most of the summer and, in traction. And he broke like his ankle and his foot, and he like broke like 3 or 4 bones. So in some ways, he's really in rehab, and I'm really guessing it's pain pills. He's a little groggy from pain pills. Let's see. Cowboy's saying, nah, I'll bring it for free, bro. I know one thing. A small jerk in Cowtown is at least 15 plus there. Okay, that sounds like a dirty joke.
And I'm not going to touch it right now. That sounded like a joke too, what I just said. Let's see. Laugh out loud. David saying Matt Devlin is highly medicated or something. Totally baked, that guy. Yeah, he has to be from the pain. Seriously, his foot is not healthy totally. He's hurting. He's very much hurting, I'm sure. Cool Cat saying now that Dennis is the FIBA MVP, a lot of NBA players going to want to come at him to cause drama. We have to be careful, though, with the refs. We don't need techs or being kicked out of the game, big picture. I want to say this about our guys. They're being really smart about managing the refs. I feel like we're getting better calls in some ways, that it isn't exactly as bad as y'all think it is. Friday was bad. That one I will say for sure. We were railroaded. But some of these other games are being very fairly called, and I like our demeanor with the refs this year. In some ways, it's a little bit less of Scottie having hissy fits after calls and going, there's a little bit less of that going on, and Scott putting more of that energy in just like directing and doing dominating things on the court instead of like whining about calls. That's a good change. I see more of like Garrett Temple and Dennis Schröder coming to the refs and having discussions with them on off times during timeouts and really kind of politicking for Raptors calls. So I think that things with the refs are way better this year than under Nick and last season. And there's not as much acrimony between the Toronto Raptors and the referees in general. Let's see if it gets better and better as the season goes. In some ways, we can inflame it in certain ways. I think that they really like Dennis because he's professional, but he stands up for himself. Now, even though that incident happened with Jay Crowder like that last night, everything was very like controlled and it didn't go out of hand. And in some ways, the referees appreciate the maturity of a player like Dennis Schröder to stand up for himself but not cross the line. Does that make sense? Because I feel like that's important in the NBA. You don't want to be a punk and just get pushed around, but also there's a fine line of stepping over and not like causing issues for your team because of technicals and free throws for the other team. So I feel like our guys are really towing that line really well this year. We're not getting a lot of technicals this year. Last year, we got a ton of technicals. We averaged technicals every game. We didn't get any technicals last night. And in a lot of games, we're not getting technicals. Darko has one technical this year so far. That's it. That is it. One technical. Nick would have like 4 technicals by now already. Seriously. So I think our courtside manner with the refs is much improved this season, at least from what I'm seeing so far. Let's see. David's saying he's making Alvin sound smart. Yeah, Matt's making Alvin sound smart. Alvin is really smart. Alvin is amazing. David, you're getting straight. How dare you go against my favorite Raptor of all time? Alvin Williams is extremely intelligent. I've met him multiple times, and every time I've talked to him, he is a very, very strong grasp of everything. And just insinuating that you think that Alvin's not smart makes me mad. Let's just put it that way. David, fucking stop going after Raptors legends like DeMar DeRozan and Alvin Williams. These guys are honored and cherished on this channel. And I hate when you say stupid shit like this, David. I really seriously do. Seymour saying Cowboy gets a dunk. All right, we'll give Cowboy a dunk for being a sauce man. Sauce man. Yeah. And Seymour's laughing at David. See, that's just not fair. That's not fair. Bam. Cowboys saying, let's get these W's tonight. We don't need dogs. We need Raptors. Woo, 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 woo. We need Gradey do. Gradey do. Gradey do. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah, nuts. Peanuts. Cowboys saying, we're coming for you, Philly. That's right. G saying, we need to campaign for OG to be Defensive Player of the Year. I think so. And this is what we do. We make a hit list. Jordan Poole in the preseason. We could say Giannis got hit last night. We make a list of all the players that he cut the water off on this season. It'll be an illustrious list. And then we go on Twitter and we blast it all over the place. This is the list of NBA superstars that OG Anunoby absolutely shut down and cut their production in like not even half, but a quarter of what it normally would be. That's what we need to do. That's the fight, the good fight right there. Twitter warriors that are here and people that want to compile this, make the plumber's list. Make the list of where he shut the water off. And Giannis Antetokounmpo got added to that list last night. That's right. That is right. That's right. Fiercely saying, yeah, Matty D made another mistake yesterday and blamed the scoreboard or something. Yeah, he said something about this is the first time that, or somebody had come in and then Jack corrected him just afterwards. Listen, sometimes injuries can be having weird things. I really do think he's on pain pills, and he's just a little loopy right now. Name was the same. Dennis is my favorite Raptor based on his accent alone. He's awesome, man. He's awesome. I love when I hear Jakob kind of start sounding like Schwarzenegger. I mean, he's Austrian. So at some point, like, he really tries not to sound like Arnold, I'm sure, because he probably gets made fun of or something like that. Oh, you're like Arnold. And so he really tries not to. But every once in a while, it'll slip in and he'll sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger all of a sudden. It's not a Duma. Or it's like he sounds Austrian all of a sudden. And it's kind of funny when that happens. It's kind of like OG being secretly UK. When he goes over there, he has a British accent. You never hear him slip in the British accent over here on this side of the pond. I want to hear British OG sometimes after games. Like, if he really feels like he did really well, I'd love for you to come out and do the interview after the game in your British accent, OG. That'd be awesome. I love that. OG, oh my, defensive player of the year. That's right. That's what we want. OG King. That's right. Carlos saying Giannis is such a bully and always getting calls, elbows OG, and then gets gifted by the refs. Here you go, 2 points. Who cares? He's such a loser. He still loses. You have everything rolled out like a red carpet in front of him. He still loses. Overrated in some ways. Some ways I have this also. I'm like, Brian Winders. Is there something about Giannis always losing to the Raptors because of his connection to Masai Ujiri? I wonder about that sometimes. It's like Giannis on the download trying to help his buddy in some ways. It's like, yeah, I'll go easy on you guys. No, I think his OG shuts him down. I think that's what it is. That's more likely what it is. It's not that Anacondo's slumming his game just to be helpful to Ujiri. That's a stretch. That's a stretch, Brian Winders. That's a stretch. Seymour saying, waiting for the all gold OG jersey, the signature jersey for the in-season tournament for our city edition. This year is gold, baby. Gold finger. Yeah, he wants to get that OG gold. That's right. I want to see it too. Smooth saying, Ronaldo Blackman was a bad man, and they don't talk about him anymore. And they should, honestly. Iowa champion Ronaldo Blackman. Rolando Blackman is Rolando. Yeah. He was a good player in the 80s, but nobody talks about him. He didn't win no championship. He scored a lot of damn points, and he was a bad man, just like Smooth saying, but he's forgotten. And in some ways, Lillard is that kind of player in this generation. He should be forgotten in a few years just because. Who cares you got 20,000 points in the NBA? There's a lot of guys that did that, and nobody talks about them anymore. None of them. Nobody. That's right. Cool Cat saying, notice our starting five is 4 international players and 1 American. Austria, Germany, Cameroon, UK. Yeah. America, Jamaican descent. Yeah, league must hate this. In some ways they love it because they want it to be more international, but they also hate it also. The American, like, xenophobes inside the league hate it. People like the Up and Smoke crew, the people that like they're just really bash Toronto and Canada in general on the down low because they think it's a subpar country compared to the United States. There's a lot of that mentality, but I love it. I love that international flavor. And our guy Scott, being the only American on our starting lineup now, he embraces being international, and he's not like those other Americans down there. He's not a xenophobe, and he looks at Canada as being just like the States. As far as he's concerned, Canada could be the 51st state, and he's just living in another part of the continent, and he really doesn't look at that international border and say, oh, that's something that exists. No, he's just in another part on the same landmass. And it just happens to be that this is Canada and not the United States. He has no problem with it. Scottie has not got any of that anti stuff like some Americans do. He loves Canada, and he fully embraces the idea of possibly being partly Canadian himself. Monique is saying, though, the way we limited Dame, I smiled so much. My cheeks hurt. I love that so much. I'm giving Monique a dunk for having hurt cheeks from smiling so much last night. That is such a joyous comment, and I love that so much. Dana is saying F off Dame. He's washed. That's maybe a little early. He's 33. He's got some time. Mischief saying, good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Let's take the momentum into Philadelphia, and let's get this dub tonight. I've been watching all the games at my home gym. The Raptors motivated me to work out every game. I do the same thing. On game days, I work out like crazy. Like the Raptors playing today, I'm going to even add up more reps for tonight because it's the Sixers and it's extra special. And I'll do like 6 sets of 100 bicep curls on both arms. Yeah, I'll do 6 sets of 100 on both arms all throughout the day today. I'll do like a set every hour. I'll do 1 set, I'll cool off and chill, and then an hour later, I'll do it again. And yeah, I'm trying to build up my upper body. I never really lift weights until like the last year. It's really the first time in my whole life I've ever started to lift weights. And so now, like in my middle age, my body's a little bit expanded with muscle because I didn't lift weights before. I don't have all this weird sagginess to my body because I got out of shape after I lifted and bodybuild my weights. Well, I might as well bodybuild in my middle age. I'm not saggy yet, so I got to keep it up. So yeah, I'm building muscle late in life, and it's kind of cool. I like it. I like it so far, and I'm getting bigger up here. I never had an upper body. I was very strong in my legs, but I never had an upper body. I'm starting to get it. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, I'm all about working out on game day too to get in the mindset to help the energy and like, let's work today, Raptors. I'm gonna work and do my part in my home gym workout, and I want y'all to do the same in your effort on the court too. That's right. Alley oop to Dana. All right, alley oop for a Canadian to a Canadian. Dana is getting the alley oop from Canadian Cowboy. Let's see. Fiercely saying there were many close-ups on Adrian Griffin. He straight up looked defeated or thinking about his life choices. It was actually sad to watch, to be honest. You know, in some ways, he has a natural look to him. It kind of looks like that already. But I could read that too. Like, and seriously, he's got to be a little bit panicking. Like, seriously, especially in the situation with the Raptors on Monday, going to this and this happening with us. In some ways, this is bad. It's just like how we felt because Portland beat us, being 0-3. You know, this is bad when bad teams or perceived bad teams like Portland and us beat other teams. The fan base is going to shambles. And Bucks fans start second guessing everything about hiring him as a head coach. Seriously. Seymour saying, Fiercey's killing me. Yeah, I mean, I saw the close-ups. He just has those natural sad puppy dog eyes. Like, he just does. You look at Coach Griffin, and he's like, he may be smiling, and he looks a little bit sad. Like, I'm like, it's just his face. In some ways, he's got that. It's too bad. It's like some people have resting bitch face. Well, he has resting sad face, is what I feel like. Resting sad face, yeah. David saying so much empathy for so many opponents. Once they leave, they're dead to me. Yeah, see, David's real cutthroat, real cutthroat. That's why he was very successful at Bridge. Very, very cutthroat young man. I'm telling you right now. Yeah, facts. Seymour saying facts. And David saying, otherwise, I get too attached to these players and coaches. Listen, you saw how I dealt with Nick this summer. I was attached to Nick. I really liked him being our coach. But you saw how I talked about him this summer. In some ways, I don't want to deal with Griff that way because in some ways, I feel bad for Griff for exactly what Fiercey just said. Seriously. Mo's saying, I said it once and I'll say it again. Dennis will be here longer than 2 years. So happy for him. Dennis has made 2 appearances on the Raptors show. Nothing better. There you go. He's got his regular spot on the Raptors show on Friday. His wife loves the Yorkdale Mall. His kids are smiling and they're playing and they're having a good time. We saw the other kids had to leave and they were all sad. They were talking to Alex about it. It's like, Alex, why are you down? Joel, I'm down because they left. The kids left. Oh, you're sad because the kids left. Yeah, sad. Oh, that's too bad. I feel it too. You know, it was sad that the older kids came and they visited. And I think they went back to Germany. So that's kind of how it goes. You know, they can't all be here for the whole time, you know, in some ways. It's Dennis's family's here. You know, we don't see Shay over here with his family, Dennis's older brother who just turned 35. No, it's just the family. I'm sure Shay and his family will come and visit and come through and stay and be around Dennis and Ellen at some point. But yeah, I'm really happy that he's really taken to the city and everything's working out really well and smoothly. Whether it's his family's really happy here, like Ellen is, whether it's he's very happy, whether the team's very happy, whether he's being successful, whether good things are happening with him on the team, it's all working really well. And it's a perfect fit. It really is. Kareem saying Sixers name comes from the signing of the U.S. Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia in 1776. And there's your useless information of the day. What fucking lames. It's not sunny in Philadelphia tonight. It's like he's like putting props on them, talking about their history, and then he said, "This is lame." You know, we want to talk about colonial history of the United States and Canada. We could talk about the War of 1812 real quick if y'all want to, but we all know how that went. Yeah, we all know how that went. Alley-oop to Mo. Yeah, all right, we'll give Mo another alley-oop from Bradley, just for her passion and her enthusiasm and her hurt cheeks. I love it. Cowboys saying 4 more wins in a row. I hope so. You said it, and I didn't believe you, but in some ways, I'm starting to believe you, Cowboy. You said 5 wins in a row. You ordered it up like 2 days ago, and I'm like, okay, Cowboy, you sound unrealistic. But we win against Milwaukee like that last night, and we keep going. Yeah, okay. Cool Cat saying, I was looking at the Bucks. They're older. We are long, lean, athletic, and fast-paced. Yeah, the Bucks are just missing something. Is it Drew Holiday? Is it Grayson Allen? Is it Coach Budenholzer? Seymour saying Mo is chat MVP. She's a Raptor Freak MVP. She's Raptors Fan Nation MVP. She's community champion. She's all that stuff. Zachy Conley's here. Zachy, good to see you. It looks like you have a wrench, but you don't. I'm like, how did you get a wrench? But that's like it's a bunk wrench. Either way, welcome, Zachy. We're here every morning talking Raptors, 9:30 a.m. He's saying Bucks were sleepwalking. This is true. The Bucks were not their normal self. We may not have caught them on a very sharp night. I will get behind that. Seymour's laughing with Zachy. Welcome, Zachy. Bam. Jam Joe's is here. Yes, sir. We here. That's right, Jam Joe's. Got some Jam Joe's going on in the game last night. Some Jam Joe's into the basket. I like it. Everyone smash that like button. Thank you, Cowboy. And Evelyn's saying, no doubt about it, Mo is our MVP in all aspects. That's right. Monique, the super fan Lawrence, is bona fide. Tangerine entrance to the portal into the game. She's always got big stuff coming. I know they're doing some sort of creator series. They had some guy who collects Raptors stuff who's crazy. They need to come talk to me. You're talking about people are creating stuff and crazy about the Raptors. They need to come and talk to me. Do my feature, Raptors. I dare you. I dare you to put the crazy ass Raptor Freak family on blast and let the mainstream see us. I dare you, Raptors. You wouldn't do that because you don't want me to get too big. You know you don't. And I'm too crazy and not family friendly. So in some ways, you don't want to put me on blast. I know you don't. But in some ways, I would fit that little creator series you're talking about right now with that crazy man who's collecting all Raptors things, talking with his glasses and looking all fly. And it's like, I can't stop. I just buy Raptor stuff over and over again. Well, come fucking talk to the person who's talking about the Raptors every morning at 9:30 in the morning for the last 2 years. And yeah, you can see another fanatic and another weird, crazy Raptor freak like me. Yeah, they won't put me on blast like that. Tell them, Monique, get in there and say, you need to put the Raptors freak on your community contributors to Raptors culture. You need to, because in some ways, I'm starting to become essential in some ways with this and what we're building right here. We're building positivity in the Raptors fan nation in a toxic cesspool. And we're being very successful right now. And I appreciate every one of y'all for being like me and being positive Raptors fans and being more vocal about it and drowning out the negative noise. You guys got my heart for that so much. I love you guys so much. Cowboy saying, you too, Granny Swag. She's essential too. So are you, Cowboy. So are the Saborans. Every single one of you guys are essential to the Raptor Freak family for sure. Alley-oop for Mo too. All right, David. We can keep Mo. He's just getting a lot of alley-oops today. This is good. Let's see. Cowboy's saying Gradey gets 6 threes tonight. I like that. I like that prediction, Cowboy. All right, you want me to make a prediction about the game tonight? I'm going to say this. I think the Raptors might win tonight by 5 points. I don't know why. It's just popped into my head. Raptors by 5 tonight. Why not? Why not? Just crazy predictions say the Raptors are going to win by 5 points tonight. I'm all about it. One more for me from Mo. You guys are just throwing them balls to Mo right there. She's just dunking and dunking and dunking. Let's see. Shaq Lindsay's saying Chris Broomstick. What? Don't be insulting our guy. Evelyn's saying salute and respect to all of us freaks. Yes. Fiercely saying, what the fuck? Lex and the names flipping. You like that? Yeah. That Jabron Lames and potty skipping. Yeah, I was potty skipping this morning when I went to the bathroom. Yeah. Lame Dillard. Yeah, you can do it with any name in the NBA. You can do it with your own name just for fun. It's fun. Yeah. Fiercely saying, take that Lame Dillard for dissing the Raps. Lame Dillard. That's right. Lame Dillard. PS Shooter saying Greek Freak plus Dame time plus Milwaukee City equals Freak time in Cream City. That's a crazy statement to make, P Shooter. I like it. Top saying Dame Lillard is way better than Michael Redd. I'm sorry. Disagree with that take. Next to Clyde Drexler, Lillard is the best trailblazer ever. Well, what I was saying, it wasn't really that he's the same or at the same level. I'm saying he should be forgotten just like Michael Redd. Honestly, that he's not that flashy or interesting or like successful. Let's just put it that way. It's not that he's the same level of him. I'm just saying in the same ways, he's just as boring as Michael Redd. And the way that they treat Michael Redd and they don't talk about him, in a lot of ways, they should do the same thing with Lillard, in my opinion. Seriously. He's important to the Trailblazers franchise. Oh, by far, for sure. just like Rolando Blackman was important to the Mavericks franchise. It doesn't mean that he should be a top 75 or talked about forever. No, that's what I'm saying. There's levels to this. And the recency bias of the recent players put more players in the top 75 that shouldn't have been in there. Anthony Davis, James Harden, and Dame Lillard. I'd even say Chris Paul. Those guys don't belong in the top 75. They're ordinary players that have ordinary players that are from ordinary times from before. They deserve just as much as they do. So you're not going to put those ordinary players from the 60s, the ordinary players from the 70s, ordinary players from the 80s and the 90s. Why are you putting the ordinary players from now on that list in the top 75? That's what I said right there. I want to clarify that. I'm not equalizing Michael Redd to Damian Lillard. I'm just saying they're just as exciting. Let's just put it that way. And if they're going to overlook Michael Redd, I don't mind them overlooking it. Like Clyde Drexler gets overlooked at this point. Seriously. Does Clyde Drexler ever get talked about? Is he ever put up and talked about in any kind of way? No, he gets forgotten. And in some ways, Lillard should be just like Clyde Drexler. Maybe I should have made that the example. Lillard's just as good as Clyde Drexler. Is Clyde Drexler a top 75? Yeah, I think he is. But in some ways, I could get behind Clyde Drexler being top 75. He did make some finals appearances. I don't know. In some ways, the top 75 is so full of shit and just not very well put together. It's stupid. Cookhead's saying it's good that Devlin uses Gradey's last name a lot. It will nullify the jokes because we'll all get used to it. We'll become numb to dick. Cookhead's also saying OG's on a mission to get his Defensive Player of the Year. Let's support his goal and make it a trend on social media. I'm all about that. Let's get Scottie in the All-Star game. And let's get OG a Defensive Player of the Year. I'm all about those campaigns, y'all. I really am. Country Kong saying, good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lex, I told you. See, we're going to give the Bucks hell. I think Philly is in trouble tonight, too. I really do. I love how Pascal, Dennis, and OG played. Scottie for MVP. Well, let's see if a Nick Nurse team that's had 3 days off is flat because they've had 3 days off. This can happen sometimes. Sometimes it's having so much time off between games. They haven't played since Sunday. Let's see if they're flat tonight, Country Kong. Because it could be the Sixers don't have the right energy because they're just like, oh, we've been sitting around for a couple days. Tom Duke's got a whole bunch of emoticons. He's saying, sorry, this chat is all clamped up now. Raptor of the day, everyone. Zip it. Cut off. Thank you, Tom. Because I know I'm way over 3 hours. It's fine. This is special times. Tom Duke's saying, have a great day. Let's go Raptors. Yes, Tom Duke. I love you, and I'm going to see you very soon. Cool Cat saying, for the record, post-game interviews are based on who the media asks for. Individual players don't have control over when they interview. This is true. This is true to an extent. And actually, they get in trouble if they don't make themselves available to the media. Quite often, it's just the top performer. If it's a bad game, only one of them has to go out there. And Scottie's been facing the music on some of these really bad games. And he's handled it well. He's been very depressed and sad looking after Chicago and Portland. But Scottie was the one who faced the music. And in some ways, we need him to do these more. In some ways, Siakam not going out there. Well, this is good because Siakam's already done these. He knows how to do a bad press conference after a bad game. Yeah, Scottie needs more experience doing that just in case. As time goes on, he may be the man more, and he may need to be in the press conference more often. He needs more practice. So that's a big part of it. They only need one guy to go in and do it when there's losses. They don't want to interview the whole team. And if they are interviewing the whole team, they just want to go home. One guy bites the bullet and goes in and talks to the press. And it's been Scottie recently. And people are saying, oh, why isn't Siakam doing it? He needs to answer for what he's done. Shut the fuck up. He doesn't owe any of y'all anything. So just shut up with why is Siakam not coming to the interview and why can he do it after we win? Shut the fuck up with that bullshit. I'm so sick of that. You find any kind of way to slag Siakam, you idiots. Mo's saying, I came home and I managed to hop on to Raptors tonight, and Eric Curry was a guest. Very surprised. Yeah, they're having special guests every time. I thought I saw Eric Curry in the little thumbnail. I didn't watch them yet. I'll watch it today. But yeah, Raptors tonight has been getting guests. Maybe they need to have Tom Duke as a guest in 2 weeks. Yeah. Infamous is saying, salute, freaks. Did you catch the interview with the 905 coach? They are grooming freedom liberty to play point if you read between the lines. Hey, I'm okay with that. If the kid can play point guard and he can be a good point guard, hey, we'll see what he does on 905. They're going to have their first game next week. We're going to have our first 905 game coming up, and we'll be covering the 905 also on this channel. So if you're interested in the G League Raptors 905, we do cover that on this channel. We'll be talking about their games, and I'll try and watch as many of their games as I can too. Country Con saying, did you see Darko hug Malachi? I really felt it when he did. Dude gets so much criticism. It's sad. People who think they know basketball are convinced he's not an NBA player, but Darko knows better. Yeah, well, I'm somewhat convinced. I don't know. I've said this myself. He's not an NBA player in the last week. Whatever they're going to do. In some ways, I don't want any power or control over it. I have no horse in this race. If Darko's successful at getting Malachi to be a better player, I'll be very happy. I'm not a hater, and I don't want Malachi to just have a sad life where he failed at being an NBA player. So I'm all about him making something happen still. And yeah, I criticize Malachi too, though. Nameless is saying, I don't bite, has no idea what we deal with up here. Down there, all protected, insulated from the league in the U.S. Yeah, he's got it easy. In some ways, his team is helped by the front office. They very much are. They're a favorite. The Philadelphia, the New York, the Brooklyns, the Bostons, it's like all the teams in our division other than us are favorite darlings of the NBA, and we're not. We are one of the teams that they hate, and they don't want to help in any kind of way. And meanwhile, we're in a division with 4 teams that they do want to help. In some ways, it's kind of like the Jays in the Eastern in their division with the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Orioles and the Rays. That's a really hard division, the AL East. And we're in a similar division in the NBA with the teams because the Yankees and the Red Sox are power brokers in the MLB, and the Blue Jays have to navigate in a division with them. Well, it's a similar thing for us dealing with the Sixers and the Celtics in our division. They get the same kind of treatment like the Yankees and the Red Sox do in baseball. The Celtics, the Sixers, and the Knicks. The Nets to a lesser extent, not as much. Let's see. Kareem saying, I wouldn't mind another wire-to-wire win tonight. Yeah, I'd be all about that. If that's happening, I'll be very happy. I was shocked that we went the whole way last night, and they didn't have any fight to come back and try and get something. I'm so happy it didn't happen that way. I really am. Name is saying prejudice, motherfuckers. Cool Cat saying Bucks gave away their 2 best small guards, Holiday and Grayson Allen. Those guys were tough and very athletic. They better hope Marshawn Beauchamp is ready for prime time. I want Adrian to keep his job. Yeah, I want him to be successful enough to keep his job and not be a failure. But in some ways, he's in a dangerous, stressful position. This season's not going to be easy. David, why are you putting that symbol on blast? You shall not be named. Monique saying Raptors and Canada basketball partnership. You love to see it. It was going to happen, and it did. Well, with the WNBA falling through for MLSE, in some ways they need to do damage control in supporting women's sports because it looks like MLSE is anti-women's sports in some ways. So they're trying to do other things in other areas to be supportive for women's sports in Canada by showing support for the women's basketball team like this. It's a good little Band-Aid that doesn't really make up for us not getting our team in the WNBA. You know, Portland, they had a similar thing that just happened a couple days ago. Their bid for a WNBA game fell through because the ownership decided against getting a WNBA team. So what happened with us recently with Ed Rogers and MLSE not wanting a WNBA team? The same thing happened with the Portland team that was making a bid too. It fell through because ownership ixnayed it all of a sudden. So it's a good makeup for it, but it really doesn't make up for not allowing the WNBA to be here. And I get it. It's like a makeup for this. And in some ways it's great. And I'm glad they're doing it. But that's part of why they're doing it, Monique, just so you know. They should be doing it anyway. And they should be having a WNBA team also. Seymour saying, thank you, Lex, for preaching the good gospel. Lillard is not a top 75 tier. Mad love. Yeah. I've always thought that. I thought that when I saw the list. I'm like, okay, there's some pretenders on here that don't have no business on here. I'll even go say an old head like Bill Walton doesn't deserve to be on that list either. It's not that I'm totally biased against all the recent guys. There's older names on that list, Bill Walton specifically, that shouldn't be on that list either. So, yeah, I'm not happy with that top 75 list. If you let me do it, I'd do it a whole different other way. Sure, there'll be a lot of the same people on there, but there'll be some certain people that they overlooked that definitely should be on there. One of them is Vince Carter, to be honest. Vince Carter is actually one of the top 75 greatest players in the NBA's history. Even though his whole career wasn't solely solid, there's some things that Vince did that make him great. And if you're calling it the top 75 greatest players, Vince Carter deserves to be on that list as much as I hate him. He just does, because he was a great player in the NBA for certain reasons. Maybe it's the dunk contest, whatever. But he brought greatness to the league because he opened up the Canadian market. And there's something above the game about Vince Carter's greatness that makes him deserve to be on that top 75. And him not being on that list is an omission that is not good. I get it. The quality of his whole career wasn't that great. But in some ways, there's something undeniably great about Vince Carter that makes him should be on that top 75 list. It really does. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, Lex, when I say play through our trio, Pascal, Scottie, do your thing, and OG for those threes. When you see Pascal dribbling, it's because he's manipulating the defensive movements to free up other players. Yeah, I like him giving a little more rope to Siakam to be more naturally who he is and what he's built up with his moves now. In some ways, his moves aren't 0.5. They can't be done in 0.5. So you might have to give a little bit of allowance of a second for Siakam in particular. Yeah, I like going through those guys. I just don't think OG is the same kind of person. And with Scott emerging, in some ways, he takes some of the work that OG had been doing next to Siakam as being possibly the next guy to come up and say, you know what, let's put this on the back burner with OG, because what Scott's showing is so fruitful and positive. We need to go and discover that more than maybe actually directing it to OG more and let OG just play within the flow. Because honestly, it's not like we depend on OG to get 20 points a night to win, but we may start being depending on Scottie scoring 20 points for us to win. And it's not as important how much OG scores, is what I'm saying. A Cool Cat saying Pascal is now skilled at reading and manipulating the defense. He learned it from his coaches, Rico and Earl. That's one of the talents that a lot of folks missed. Yeah. I like his passing's gotten way better in the last few years. His assist numbers go up, and he's reading the double team way better. In the early days, he did not. He did not. He tried to beat the double team too much, and he didn't pass it out enough. Well, he's doing that way better now. I agree. And those guys are a big part of it, for sure, those coaches. Seymour saying Vader was a badass. We're talking about Vader. That's how far back I can tell where we are. Country Con saying, this is going to sound crazy, but hear me out, Lex. I think Gradey could use some time in 905. I don't think that's crazy. I've suggested this too. Listen, I don't want him missing regular season games, but a few 905 games can help him slow down. I'm totally with that. Yeah, I'm totally with that. Yeah, and maybe it's just a couple games. It's not very much, but he needs a taste of it down there, and I want to see him dominate down there. David saying, full 180. Were you trying to mess with me by dissing Alvin? Randolph saying, Lex, when our starters are not in early foul trouble, their confidence is there, and they play their brand of basketball. Yeah, that's another thing is low-key, one of the things that have helped us the last couple of games is Jakob not getting in foul trouble. You know, if the refs don't target him and throw silly fouls on him and he doesn't come out of the game, it really helps us. In fact, I was noticing Jakob was able to play most of the first quarter, and he didn't get his first foul in one of these games until like the second quarter. And then he didn't get his second foul until the third quarter. I was like, this is refreshing. Jakob's not getting into foul trouble from certain dumb, stupid things. Sometimes it's the refs, and they are directing, and they're doing it on purpose. They'll saddle somebody with 2 fouls early. But when Jakob is not in foul trouble, or Precious, or Chris, those kind of players, or OG, it's always good for us because they can play more with their brand of basketball, as you're saying, and not worry so much about the whistle kind of dictating how much they can. Cool Cat saying, I still just taking each game day to day to learn Coach Darko's offensive schemes. We'll enjoy the highs and embrace the lessons from the lows. Defense, I don't need to learn. All right, there we go, Cool Cat. I love it. We're just going along for the ride. Hopefully it's good and positive and more W's. Jimmy Pope saying, yes, sir, big dubs. I love it. Country Kong saying a full 180 like Scottie Barnes on the fast break. I just want to see those threes go down. I love that he works so hard for us off the ball, but I think he moves perhaps too fast for the speed of the game. Okay. All right. I can get all right. Randolph saying, Lex, front office is building up Malachi's value in case the opportunity comes to trade him. This is if he doesn't become what they believe he can. So either way, it's a win-win to try and invest and get Malachi up. Even if he's a bust and doesn't work, well, what do? We cut him at the end of the season and we don't have him anymore. We get some value out of him and possibly trade him, or he makes it and we value him enough to keep him around. So in some ways, it's building win-win scenarios is basically what it is. Cool Cat saying Scotty's personality is never negative or disparaging to anyone. Folks are falling for media trying to create a story. Scottie is good with Nick and Fred. Don't mistake competition for hatred. Yeah, the stuff about Scottie and Nick is basically they just missed each other, running into each other. And I don't read it any further than that. I really don't. I mean, we've heard how Scott won't even let us talk bad about Joel Embiid on his Twitch stream. That's how much he's like not having enemies and how much he's really not trying to like cause more waves or things bigger than basketball by just saying something stupid or something. He's really savvy in that way. And him saying his favorite player is Siakam's very smart. And then also, not answering questions about who did you want to play the most when you came in the league and dumb stuff like that. He doesn't cause any kind of like possibilities for problems from like things he's saying, which is really good. And he's a love everybody kind of guy. But I will tell you, the way he talks to his teammates when they're not doing well can be very mean or negative or disparaging. Fiercely saying thank you for the dunks at Seymour and Cowboy. You're welcome, Fiercely. Always. That's awesome. Cool Cat saying, I listened to Pascal's interview. He discussed with Poeltl on needing space to move. It worked out, and he was able to maneuver and give Poeltl slip shots. Yeah. The friendship between Siakam and Poeltl needs to be reignited and more strong. In some ways, they're not as close as they were when they were younger. And I know this because they're in different places in their career. Siakam's a different player and a person than he was when he played with Jakob before. And it happens with the fame and the success and the higher money and things like that. There's a little bit of a stratification there. But in some ways, I wish Siakam would get down to the ground again and hang with Yak like they used to. Find some of your youthful exuberance and fun that you guys used to have together and really start bonding and talking to each other on the regular. I want y'all to be like this because in some ways, what she's saying is right. The spacing has been fucked up for our team overall. But if y'all can start really getting on the same page and feel like y'all are like so close, it'll fix a lot of things. Because y'all are so close, you can be really honest with each other and talk about things and get things out and move faster with fixing things by being brutally honest. And in some ways, I want y'all to do this. Rekindle your friendship to the highest, most level and make it really seem like y'all are like absolute birds of a feather, like you were when you were younger. I just want to see that more and more. Randolph saying, Lex, let's go into business by designing the first outfit for the players that will allow AI to ref the games. Let's go, Raptors. Another win is all we need. Listen, if you're anywhere in this entrepreneurship to do this kind of thing and go into this, I'll invest in this. Randolph Phillips, I'll be all about this. Hey, listen, I'll be in on this. Hey, let me be in the shareholders meeting on this one, Randolph, if you got something cooking. I like the sounds of AI refs. I really do. Thank you for the chat cutoff. Cool Cat saying Darko is using psychology skills to empower his players. He's building them up. He's not scaring them. In some ways, Nick Nurse used a sphere to motivate, and well, Darko's using encouragement, and I like that. Cool Cat saying front office core shadow team: Scottie, Pascal's replacement, Precious, OG's replacement, Gradey, Gary's replacement, Koloko, Jakob's replacement. That's transition planning at its best. See the strategy, folks? Well, you just got guys coming up in the positions where you got guys already. That could be part of what's going on with Gary. He's seeing Gradey and he's like, oh crap, this guy may be coming and I need to get my ass in gear. And then he gets in his head and he's like, then he's not playing better. And Grady's continuing to excel. He's like, oh crap, this guy's coming. This happens to NBA players. And they get in their own head and they see somebody maybe coming up and then they're not doing as well. Gary, just concentrate on yourself. You know you're going to be fine. We need you, bro. We need both of y'all. So just do it. You'll be fine, Gary. You'll get back out of this rut soon. I'm sure you will. Cool Cat saying Pascal has a contract for Bieber's clothing line. Fits for a game entrance. Second year running. So that's like Bieber's clothing line that Maple Leafs blue with Drew on it. Okay, thanks for the info. Interesting. Seymour saying interesting. Cool Cat saying what's it called? So he's wearing Bieber clothes. Interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, let's see. Cool Cat saying Scottie has Nike contract, Fit Tech line as well. Okay. Justin Bieber's line is called Drew. So he's wearing Drew clothing. He's wearing Justin Bieber's clothes. Interesting. All right, there you go, Seymour. Mischief saying, hey, Lex, can I bring my bass guitar and JBL speakers at karaoke? I don't know. You have to ask the real jerk. maybe they'd be all about it. I'd love to have a bass accompaniment with singing a song or something like that. I'll be singing like something cool then, like Rolls Royce or something with a really good bass line that you could really like play it along with me at the same time. Ooh, that'd be good. Like Car Wash, you can play that little bass line that they do at the game when we're on defense. Yeah, mischief. Let's cause some mischief with your bass. Come on down there with the worst that could happen is they tell you to keep in your car or something. No, don't bring your bass in here. Who are you, Hulk Hogan in Tampa in 1975? We don't want your bass in here with us. Jeez. Fun guy saying, what the fuck is going on with Scottie? He didn't score 20 points until December last year. He already has like 4. This guy really is just saying fuck it and taking the NBA by storm. He's at a new level. He's got the new conditioning. It allows him new powers on the court. It's the conditioning. Race Mode Daily's like, did we win? Let's go. Race Mode has been busy traveling. He's in Vegas right now. I like your pictures of the Sphere, Edmund. And he has not been able to watch the games. And he's confused about what the hell is going on with his team. He sees a box score against Portland on Monday. He's like, wow, this is really bad. And then he sees what happens last night. And he has no idea what's going on with the Raptors right now. Edmund, watch the game tonight. We're okay. We're doing all right. We'll see what happens tonight against Nick in Philadelphia. But we love you, Race Mode. Travel safe. And yeah, you can always check in with us. We'll let you know what's going on. Mischief's got the cutoff again. Fun guy saying Alvin isn't dumb. What the fuck? He's just kind of hood and lacks dialogue skills. Speaking especially in a loud stadium and on mic while having dialogue fed into one ear can make someone say dumb shit a lot. I don't even think he says dumb shit. He's very intelligent. He's very well learned, and he's getting better and better. David just never liked Alvin. He's put him down all last year too. And I'm telling you, David, he's number 20 signed on my wall next to me is because he was my favorite player for most of the existence of the Raptors. He was my favorite player in 2000, and he was my favorite player right up until maybe recently. It's like the whole Raptors team is kind of beating him at this point. As far as like, I started to like Chris. I started to like Scottie. I like Dennis. I like OG. It's really tough. I have a hard time figuring out who my favorite Raptor is at this point. But back in the day, historically, it was clear cut. It was never Vince Carter. My favorite Raptor of all time overall is Alvin Williams, David. So put some respect on him, especially since he's doing our broadcast. And he's a good Raptors alum. And he's a badass. He's a very nice person. You know what? In fact, David, if you come down to Real Sports with me and he's there, I'm going to introduce you to him. And you can fucking find out how nice he is and how intelligent he is and how cool he is. He would be so happy to meet you and prove you wrong with all of your perceptions about him. Seriously, I want to introduce you to Alvin Williams, and we'll fucking end your Alvin Williams hate after you actually talk to him and meet him. Oh my gosh, he's so off base with that. In some ways, I question your Raptor freakdom, the way you hate Alvin Williams. Nobody in Raptors Nation that loves the Raptors hates Alvin Williams. I don't get it, David. You should not be doing that. You really shouldn't. Let's keep going. Monique saying best Raptor Freak crew and W stream, W game. Keep at it always. Good times, good times. Go Raptors. What a time. Yes, Monique is reveling in the joy from last night, and I love it. Fun guy saying just skip some ropes, Lex. That shit is best, especially for smokers. Just skip some ropes? You mean like, yeah, I don't know. I have really good like cardio in certain ways, I guess. I don't know. In some ways, I just like weight like right now. I'm doing weightlifting. Fun guy saying, let's laugh out loud. Let's chill on Adrian Griffin. He'll be fine. They're 2-2. They will be really good. But even so, I was shocked when they hired him. Didn't he ever see him as a head coach? There's word going around. I finally get a dunk. You want a dunk? I'll just give you a dunk. You got dunks, fun guy. You did get a dunk yesterday. That's right. You got your second one now. I don't know. Adrian's in trouble. He could be in trouble possibly. It's not a slam dunk for him. It isn't totally. I don't think so. Seymour's laughing, fiercely saying Lexophon in full effect. Yeah, we're after 3.5 hours. There's the cutoff. And Blackhawk saying, let's do it again. Neil, you're going to come down the Real Jerk 2 weeks from today. Carlaw and Gerard Street, Real Jerk. 6 p.m. Tom Duke and I will be there for a Raptor Freak meet and greet. I know you came to our meet and greet this summer, and I hope you'll come back again. Neil will be there at the Real Jerk karaoke night so we can see the singing skills of the Raptor Freak family and singing all our crazy songs. That's right. I'll do requests. Y'all want me to do a song? I'll do a song in honor of you. All right, let's wrap it up. The Raptors beat the Bucks last night by a lot of points, and it was awesome. We shut down Giannis with OG. I really feel like the starters were absolutely phenomenal. We saw the return of Otto Porter. He was great. We see continued encouraging things from Scottie Barnes and Grady Dick. Dennis Schröder, absolutely fantastic so far. Jakob Poeltl, OG, masterclass on both sides of the ball with a perfect 7-for-7 night and a perfect defensive night. And then Pascal, thank you for coming back, getting that 26 points, being a leader, and showing great stuff. Fantastic win by the Raptors. Let's try and duplicate it tonight. And these are the injuries for tonight so far. Nicholas Batum is not available for the Sixers. He just recently got traded from the Clippers. He won't be there, but I'm guessing KJ Martin and the other guys will be available. On our side, it's still saying Precious is out, but I don't know. They may need to update this. It could be that they do workouts with him, and we'll see if he might be back tonight. We know Koloko will be out for sure. Our referees tonight are Mark Lindsay, the family guy, JT Orr, and Evan Scott. Overall, it's kind of even between the teams. Mark Lindsay is for the Raptors, JT Orr is for the Raptors, and Evan Scott is for the Sixers. So the ref crew slightly favors the Raptors in Philadelphia tonight. All right, let's see. Is there anything else I want to go over? Remember, as always, with your Raptors Freak Yahoo Fantasy Basketball League, make sure your lineup's set up and ready. It looks like the Rangers won the World Series. Okay, there's a little side note on that. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me. Let's go Raptors. Let's beat the Sixers tonight, and let's do the main event marquee matchup right now. That's right. I got to do that still. All right, let me get this set up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wells Fargo Arena and the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, United States. Tonight we have a special six-man tag team back alley hardcore match. Yes, six-man tag team match. That means 3 men on each side against each other. And first we'll announce the home team for Philadelphia in the back alley near the Philly Cheesesteak stand. In the back alley, we have first from Chicago, Illinois, 6'2", 180 pounds, Beverly Patrick. And his partners, first from Cameroon, 7 foot tall, 280 pounds, Joel Embiid. Yes, and then finally from Dallas, Texas, 6'2", 200 pounds, Tyrese Maxey. And on the other side, for the visiting team from Toronto, first of all, from West Palm Beach, 6'10", 240 pounds, Scottie Wayne Barnes. And from Cameroon, 6'10", 230 pounds, Pascal Siakam. And then the third member of the Toronto tag team in this back alley brawl, in the back alley in Philadelphia, is from the London, United Kingdom, 6'7", 232 pounds, Mr. OG Anunoby. All right, a great 6-man tag team WCW hardcore style match. We're going to see the 3 men from Philadelphia up against the 3-man team from Toronto. We'll see who wins this fracas and this back alley in Philadelphia, in the dirty streets of Philadelphia. In the streets of Philadelphia. No, 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 no. Bruce Springsteen. All right, there you go. There's the end of my stream. Really silly and weird. All right, y'all. I'm done. W-stream. Thank you, guys. Barfy, barf, barf. Let's see. Fiercely saying narrative on OG's heading to the Sixers. They posted a picture of him and Nick at the charity event last year saying they got along great. All right. You're going to try and remember, but you ain't singing. That's fine, Blackhawk. Just come down and pal around with us, have some good food, and meet Tom Duke and some of the other regular Raptor freaks that are going to be there too. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me. I appreciate y'all putting in the time like I did. And let's see if the Raptors kick some major ass tonight, and we can have a good reaction stream tomorrow on Friday for the Sixers game. That's where I'll be back, 9:30 a.m., reacting to what happens tonight at the game. I appreciate all y'all, and keep your head up, do your day like a Raptor would, and kick some ass today. Raptorize your day, like Nav would say. All right, y'all, let's go beat Nick Nurse, and then bitch, and bitch, and bitch, and bitch. And Beverly Patrick. Yeah, Beverly Patrick with your little advice column like Beverly Cleary. Oh, yeah, they're soft. I would never want to see them in a back alley. Well, you're going to see us in your own arena. And let's see if you enjoy that tonight. Hopefully we kick your ass, Beverly Patrick. All right, let's go!